having the courage necessary to make the game-winning play when it's all on the line. It's what sets us apart from the rest. Your home for Bears basketball is right here on the Missouri State Sports Network.
Missouri State at the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, Saturday, March 9th, right here on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer. Your home for Missouri State basketball.
Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th. Our Glock representative and a Glock armorer will be on site to answer questions or discuss your Glock firearm needs. The first 50 Glock handguns purchased will receive a free Glock range bag during the event. Sight upgrades are available for Glocks, and with a sight purchase, it can be installed on your Glock free of charge. Stop by and take advantage of the huge savings during this event on all Glock firearms, parts, and accessories. Friday and Saturday, March 15th and 16th, Denny Dennis Sporting Goods at 1 Gravois Road in Fenton. Give them a call at 636-349-9447. 636-349-9447. Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th.
Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Old Town Fenton is celebrating Glock Days. Like Denny Dennis on Facebook to get in on their specials.
Hello, St. Louis. Join me, James Enstall, every Sunday at 1 p.m. for Geek to Me Radio right here on The Answer.
I'll bring you the latest pop culture news, fun giveaways, and of course, the best celebrity guests across the greatest fandoms like... Today, we're talking to the father of Marvel Comics, Stan Lee.
What we did years ago was pretty good, but it had to take until Marvel became under new management who was willing to do the movies.
That's Geek to Me Radio, brought to you by Historic St. Charles. Plan your trip now. Go to discoverstcharles.com for an historically good time.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Yes, everybody, good morning. Good morning this morning. Welcome to the show and happy Tuesday to all of you. Happy Fat Tuesday to some of you. Is it everybody's Fat Tuesday? Good morning this morning. Or is it just a few people's Fat Tuesday? I just think it's everybody's Fat Tuesday. What happened to this? I thought we had this mic thing figured out, but I guess not. Gotta figure this thing out sooner or later. I'm just getting used to this mic arm, this $700 mic arm. There we go. Here we go. Hey, you guys want to hear something? Let's go. Let's listen to some. Hey, good morning this morning. Yes, it's Fat Tuesday, so of course we're going to have to wake you up with some Al Hurt, people. Oh, yeah. I'm playing my dad's old Al Hurt album, Dixieland Jazz. Well, what the heck? It's Fat Tuesday. Come on, people. It's actually pretty good, man. It's Al Hurt. Come on, people. This is one of these multi-album sets. I used to buy these back in the day. Big old box. I wonder if my dad either really took really good care of his albums or he never played them. Because these things are in perfect condition. Actually, this whole box set, I did kind of just look it up. I didn't, because I'm never going to sell anything on my father's, but this is worth like $500 on eBay. But I'll sell it to you for $489 here in All in the Morning's auction house. No, I'm never going to get this thing. Anyway, I'll regale you with a little bit of that every once in a while. All right, so the big news this morning coming out of New York is Hillary Clinton isn't running. Oh, by the way, Henry Davis is in at 8 o'clock. We've got Judge Napolitano in at 7:20. We've got Ola Hawatma, who is a friend of mine who is flying up. She's en route this morning to Washington, D.C. for a news conference that will be put together by the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition. Ola Hawatma is a fashion designer and philanthropist here and really a great conservative and pretty well known in New York circles as well in the fashion industry. But she's also now one of the members, the higher-ups in the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, and they're calling for the resignation of that fool up there in Minnesota, Ilham Omar, who just continually steps in it in terms of her anti-Semitism. And by the way, I don't believe that if you have a policy difference with the United States and with the administration and how you deal with Israel, I think there are a lot of people who have legitimate concerns about any relationship we might have with a country, and always want to make sure we're not doing anything, putting the interests of another country before ours. And you know how it all works. But to somehow confuse a foreign policy support for one of our allies with some kind of weird allegiance, and especially coming out of a Muslim's mouth, that tends to cause a little bit of problems, especially when you seem to have in the past made so many of these statements, and clearly you're just anti-Israel because you're anti-Jew. That's pretty much what that's all about. And so the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition is calling for her to resign. I'm not quite sure about resignations. I'm not a big resign guy. I do believe that ultimately, at some point, the voters who put her in are going to have to decide whether or not to take her out. And that's going to be really how I view things. I didn't want Eric Greitens to resign. I felt like if people couldn't tolerate whatever it was about him that the Republicrats in the swamp was squawking about there in Jeff City, then let them in 2020 turn him out. But I always believe it ought to be the voters who decide whether or not someone goes as opposed to anybody else. But still, the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition is highlighting the fact that this woman just does not stop. And at some point, it does become agitating and indeed aggravating and maybe even harmful to our relations with Israel to have somebody in Congress, especially sitting on committees where you're actually guiding policy to a certain degree. So that's going to be with Ola later on. She's landing in Chicago at 6:50, and so she's supposed to text me when she gets in, and then at that point I'll grab her and we'll see if we can get her on the air from the airport there in Chicago. Lots to talk about, too, regarding the 2020 election, and I left you with 7 reasons yesterday why it's believed President Trump is going to landslide this election in 2020, and especially as the Democrats just keep on giving us gifts constantly. Yesterday announcing that they are going to conduct all these kinds of hearings now because they're past Russia now. Apparently they don't believe that the Mueller investigation is going to give them what they want. So they're deciding that they're going to go ahead and just conduct these hearings all day long. And I welcome them. I, as a person who believes that Democrats don't have anything going for them, this is just going to be further proof to most Americans out there. And so I'm not concerned at all about these hearings or about them attempting to kind of water down support of President Trump. And I'll tell you that as I regale you with the 7 reasons why Trump will landslide. And part of that is because every sector of this country, every economic class, every gender class, every racial class, every working class is benefiting from President Trump's policies, every single one. On all sectors, all across the board, there's not one person who has been left out of the economic prosperity that this country is now experiencing thanks to Trump administration policies. And there's more to come. We're live here from the Arrowhead Building Supply studios. Thank you, Arrowhead Building Supply, for all that. And don't forget, you can call Cami.com. That's the listener line, 844-855-1380, 844-855-1380. Thanks a ton to my friend Tammy Mitchell-Hines for supporting the line and supporting the show. So Hillary, they got a scoop up there at Channel 12 in New York. And Hillary said, basically, she's not going to run. And it doesn't matter. She first of all, she'd get a drubbing of a lifetime again anyway, but she's not going to run. And here she is talking about
you said you can't envision a scenario where you run again for a third time, but can you tell me now, standing here 100%, that you've ruled it out? The biggest question of the 2020 Democratic primary answered during Hillary Clinton's first.
Tara, why don't you let her answer the question? She sat there and then asked her and then started talking over and doing her voiceover. It's like you just asked, let's hear it.
television news interview since the midterm elections. While she certainly hinted at the answer before,
spit it
for the
out,
first
Tara.
time on camera, Clinton officially put all rumors to rest and closed the door on a third White House
Let's
run.
go.
I'm not running, but I'm going to keep working and speaking and standing up for what I believe.
Oh, good.
Not running, she
good.
says,
That'll be great. I totally welcome that with Hillary Clinton continuing to speak, because if it's anything like she was speaking when she was in Selma, once again going to the every Trump supporters are racist and deplorable, then I say keep on talking. This is going to be the gift that keeps on giving as long as old girl just runs her mouth all the time. We don't have to do anything at that point. By the way, did you see, too, the Bernie Sanders interview with this guy is a radio host. His name is Charlemagne the God. You know who he is? I have too. I don't know where I've heard about him, though. Charlemagne I'm telling you, I've heard about this guy somewhere. It's a great name. In fact, if it wasn't taken, I'd take it. Charlemagne the God in the morning. Good morning. Good morning this morning. And you are in the Arrowhead Building Supply Studios. I'm Charlemagne the God. You think I could pass myself off that way? They're like, people would be like, you're not Charlemagne the God. Even if you didn't know who Charlemagne the God is, you'd know I'm not Charlemagne the God. I'm sorry, the God. Oh, do you think there's a difference? Yeah. He does it this way. Charlemagne, T-H-A, God. Charlemagne the God. I'm surprised he didn't do Charlemagne the God. You know? Anyway, so he's interviewing Bernie Sanders. Talking to Bernie Sanders. And, well, let's let her rip, Maxie, shall we?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait. Can you stop
great.
there for a second? They stole my good morning this morning. They did, kind of. I'm going to have to call
Good morning.
Yeah. You guys have been listening to Allman in the morning. Allman in
Good morning.
Allman in the morning. I'm going to change it now. Okay, so it's Allman in the morning. That means we have to change all the mic flags. I'm sorry, you guys. It's got to be the morning. T-H-A. I hope the Salem guys don't mind that if we just change everything. I got to compete with Charlemagne the God. All right, let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
It's not the first time Bernie's been on the Breakfast Club. First time he's been to the studio.
That's right. Last time we were out in what, South Carolina?
Columbia, South Carolina. We went to go see him with Killer Mike. I hosted a town hall for him back in 2016 in Harlem as well, and he called in.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Bernie, 44 out of 45 presidents in this country have been white men. Do you think we need another one?
Well, I think you need this one. Look, we are living in an unprecedented time. We have the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country, somebody who is a pathological liar, a fraud, a racist, a sexist, a homophobe,
a racist,
xenophobe,
a con man, a cheat.
Now you're just getting warmed up here, man. Now, this is a bad news guy. And the most important thing that has got to happen is that this dangerous president is defeated. I'm going to do everything I can to defeat him. I look forward to winning the Democratic nomination. And if I don't, I will support anybody else who's out there to defeat him. But this guy cannot win another term.
Oh, yeah. He didn't answer the question, though. We kind of did. His answer was, yes, it's time for our old white men from Vermont. That's what you're going to get, Charlemagne the God. Another white president. Listen, I understand, too, some of the questions these individuals ask from the black community about another white president. But I don't understand how individuals who fought so hard to be identified as regular people as opposed to just black people suddenly are so ethnocentrically focused on blackness. Like, I thought we worked through all this and everybody was supposed to be kind of on a level playing field. But now there's this obsession with having to make sure that we play all these identity politics. And Charlemagne the God is the one to bring it up. Listen, he's got Bernie Sanders. What are you going to do? Bernie Sanders, the fact that he's now supposedly one of the leading contenders for the nomination. Are you kidding me? And I'd welcome this. I'd love to have this contest between Trump and Bernie Sanders. And you know President Trump is begging for that opportunity. I'll tell you that. All right, we come back. I'll give you the 7 reasons. I left the show yesterday, the tail end, with this. So that was almost at about 10 minutes to 10. And so a lot of you who were listening then may not have been listening now. And a lot of you listening now were not listening then. And so I want to make sure I get you boned up on the 7 reasons why Trump is going to landslide. Don't forget, Henry Davis on in at about 8 o'clock or so. We've got fresh off of his visit to the White House. And we have Judge Napolitano, who is, those of you who are just tuning in to the actually terrestrial radio, haven't heard him with me since I left the other station, but he's been on with me through the stream and Facebook, but he has been a loyal supporter of the Allman in the Morning brand, and I really appreciate him. He's going to be on with us in just a few. And then, of course, we also have Ola calling me from the Chicago airport to tell us about the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition and their call for Omar to resign. This is Common Sense Radio and Allman in the Morning.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, the earlier problem we had with the stall on the exit from southbound 270 to Olive has been cleared. They made quick work of that. We are now accident-free, delay-free. The only thing we're looking at are construction projects. A couple of those have returned. 6440 eastbound, right lane closed on the Poplar Street Bridge until 4. And you've got road work in the right lane on the ramp from northbound 55 to the eastbound Poplar Street Bridge, also until 4 o'clock. 141 southbound, 6440 to Manchester, road work in place there until 2:30. Traffic is sponsored by Compassion International.
Right now, there's a child living in extreme poverty with no future and no hope. But you can bring hope when you become a Compassion International sponsor. Just text the word child to 83393 and sponsor a child right now.
I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
How can a fully stocked restroom improve your image? How can serviced fire extinguishers or a first aid cabinet make your employees more prepared? How can comfortable work apparel make your business more productive? For over 1 million customers, the answer is simple. Cintas. Cintas delivers everything you need to open your doors with confidence. Because helping keep businesses well-equipped, clean, and looking their best, that's our business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Hey, it's Allman from Allman in the Morning. I want to tell you about the quality customized service you will receive when you call my friend Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He's also the top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Those are beautiful. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. So cut down on the risk of error. Schedule your appointment today with Michael Proctor. Proctor spelled like doctor, proctordrapery.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Ditka. On the field, they called me Iron Mike. But some days, even Iron Mike can feel a little rusty. So I turned to Blue Emu. Blue Emu's non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula gets down deep for big-time comfort. And more importantly, it doesn't leave me smelling like a locker room. Now, if you excuse me, I have some yelling to do. You hit like old men. Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
I regularly hear stories of companies cutting the commissions of their outside salespeople. Has that happened to you? Or maybe you've had accounts taken from you and given to another salesperson to level the playing field. I've never understood those who penalize top sellers when they've become too successful. If you're a good salesperson, especially if you're in media sales, then I want to talk to you. I'm Lori Vernier, local sales manager for Salem STL Radio. I believe in the work I'm doing, but more importantly, this company believes in its people. Last year, Salem Media Group, our parent company, was voted one of the national best and brightest companies to work for. And for the past 2 years, we were voted a great place to work by our employees. If you'd like to join my sales team, drop me an email at jobs@salemstl.com. That's jobs@salemstl.com.
The station is owned and operated by Salem Media Group and is an equal opportunity employer.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose frost stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gosh, I love that version of our national anthem. That is Roger Doucette, and that is a recording from the 2010 World Cup, and that's great. You can tell Roger Doucette loves that national anthem, and that's the way you got to sing it when you sing the national anthem. And that's why I always give people breaks when they kind of mess the national anthem up, because I figure as long as you try and you try to sing it lovingly, then you know what? If you mess up a couple words or here and there, whatever, I don't really, or something's kind of out of tune or what have you, I don't really bother myself with it. All right, you know what I might do, since it's we've got only about 2 minutes left before I have to take a break again. I will go ahead and do the 7 reasons why Trump will landslide just on the other side of this break, just to give you a little primer, and you can talk about it today to the goofballs at work who continually tell you about how Trump is in trouble and all these hearings are taking place. And apparently the media all were loving this idea of the investigations after investigation after investigation. In fact, they were really almost giddy about the whole thing. They were going crazy over the whole thing.
On the Hill tonight, Democrats making it clear they're now on the hunt, now in control of the House, of course, after the...
Can you imagine if Republicans were on the hunt for Barack Obama, how that would go over? You'd have riots in the streets if it was even reported remotely by the networks that the Republicans were on the hunt for Barack Obama. Remember when apparently there was some kind of goofball crosshair thing that Sarah Palin did in some district or something, and there was just this immediate outrage over the whole thing. Now you've got to actually have, and most of it from the media, and now you have to actually have the media adopting language that I don't mind. I mean, but when applied differently, it would have completely different results. If somebody said Republicans were setting up to hunt down Barack Obama, it'd be unbelievable.
Investigations of President Trump, launching several investigations into the president, his family, his finances. And also, we're learning tonight they're asking for notes, any documentation of the president's conversations with Vladimir Putin. At times, only translators were in the room, and sometimes only a Russian translator. ABC's Mary Bruce up on the Hill tonight.
Nah, we've heard enough. But we know that this is what's going on. The media loves all this kind of stuff. And again, people, don't worry about this, because the more of this, the better. The more the Democrats and the media and everybody else look so petty, the more they talk about being on the hunt for your president, the better off your president is going to be. And for that matter, your country, because that's really what we're concerned about. The future of this country, not always the future of a presidency, but the future of this country. And President Trump is directly tied to the beauteous future of this country. It's Common Sense Radio, Allman in the Morning.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. 3 children among the 23 people killed by the tornadoes that leveled the small town of Beauregard, Alabama over the weekend. Dozens remain unaccounted for. Search crews continue combing through piles of rubble. President Trump is assuring those in the hard-hit areas the government will help them to recover. The president slamming the Democrats' expanding Russia probe, saying it amounts to presidential harassment. We know of at least one Democrat who does not plan to make a run for president next year. Hillary Clinton telling New York's News 12 that she will not seek her party's presidential nomination in 2020. Sacramento police say last night's protest over the shooting of an unarmed black man by police ended with at least 80 arrests. On Wall Street, Dow futures up 13 points. S&P futures 2 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
170 northbound below the post is from Scudder to Airport. Southbound's got a stall before Del Mar. Right shoulder, though, and then some slight delays from Forest Park Parkway to 64. 270 eastbound crowding from McDonald to Washington. Southbound slow Page to Doherty Ferry and 44 to Gravois. Westbound 44 slow Arsenal to Shrewsbury. It's right through construction. 64 eastbound slow 170 to Big Ben, and emergency vehicles are sitting before Grand, but everybody's in the right shoulder there. Westbound 64 slight delays Kings Highway to McCausland, and East 70 has some crowding from Bermuda to Jennings Station. No other tie-ups. Traffic sponsored by KFC.
KFC's got a variety of $20 fill-ups with extra crispy, original recipe, crispy tenders, or boneless chicken breasts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to feed your hungry family. KFC. It's finger-licking good.
I'm Deb Snyder with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Dennis Prager points out the truth.
We are told that the left is pro-science and the right is anti-science because we don't believe that we should bankrupt Western civilization because the world will come to an end in 12 years. We are going about it the wrong way, that everything we'll do bankrupting the West will change the temperature perhaps a half a degree. Perhaps.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekday mornings at 11 on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Breaking news. Stimulating talk.
Attention gun enthusiasts. Interested in purchasing a suppressor, but worried the new gun laws might make it a tough process? Razorback Armory in Des Peres is your home for the new Silencer Shop kiosk system. No need to go to several locations to prepare for your application, photo submissions, and fingerprint cards. Still have questions? Razorback Armory has answers. Visit the pros at Razorback Armory in Des Peres, just east of 270 on Manchester. RazorbackArmory.com.
We know you're out there hiding in plain sight.
Living a life of quiet desperation, wondering if you're going to beat your money to the grave. There's a better way, a better life at Lifestyles Unlimited. It's time to live the life you deserve. You can only do that by creating passive income. Let us show you how. It's just 2 hours. It can't be worse than another meeting about meetings or another mindless night in front of the TV. Go to lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com. That's lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
Smash with you here, St. Louis people. Here I'm doing this People's Praise Party Sunday mornings, and they're saying, you, the dude that rock and rolled us all these years here in St. Louis, you're playing Jesus music? Well, yeah, Charlie Daniels does Jesus music.
When I die, hallelujah, bye-bye, I'll fly away.
All kinds of great Jesus music. We're going to rock it Sundays, 11 a.m. to noon as you're digging the Smash with the People's Praise Party. Right here on 1380 a.m. and 105.3 FM, The Answer.
Are you looking for your dream home, but it doesn't seem to exist? You've tried to figure it out on your own, but don't know what step to take next? Don't worry. I'm Tammy, owner of Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company, and my team and I are ready to help ease that stress. My team serves Monroe, St. Clair, and Madison counties in Illinois. So go to calltammy.com to set up your stress-free appointment today. Give me an idea of what you're looking for, and we will do the rest. If you buy or sell a house with me, you can use my moving truck for free. Just go to calltammy.com.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
It's about 13 degrees outside, for crying out loud, people. But how can it be so beautiful outside and yet so cold? It doesn't make any sense. Last night, as the weather department promised, beautiful sky, crystal clear, crisp. I don't know what that has to do with the cold, but for whatever reason, they go hand in hand. All right, as I promised, by the way, we've got Henry Davis coming in about 8 o'clock, going to be in the studio here, fresh off of his visit with President Trump in the White House. And we've got Ola joining us from the Chicago airport as she's on her way to D.C. for the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition press conference they're going to be having this afternoon at about 3 or so there, calling for the resignation of Ilhan Omar, who is the Muslim crazy from Minnesota up there who just won't stop running her mouth about Israel. And some are saying it's anti-Semitic. And the reason why they're saying that is because she's confusing foreign policy and relationships with allies with some bizarre allegiance. And she said, I didn't pledge allegiance to Israel. It's like, no one's asking you to, Chicky Poo. You're a congresswoman, and you're sitting on certain committees, and we have a foreign policy relationship with Israel, and it's not only a strategic one, but it is one where we are brethren with them as they're stuck there right in the Middle East there, and so we protect them. It's not anything. But I guess if you're Muslim, and in my opinion, you're anti-Semitic, not just because you're Muslim, but because you're Ilhan Omar, then that's a problem for you. So we'll follow up on that. And Judge Napolitano in with us, and he's going to be talking a little about what's happening with all these hearings and those kinds of things regarding President Trump. And I'm saying bring them on because it's going to be fun watching the Democrats just simply drive themselves into the ground here and make fools of themselves, and it's only going to help the president. And that's one of the 7 reasons why it's listed here. And I love this article because it really lays it out. It's relatively complicated to a certain degree, but really it's not that complicated. And it's written by Kevin McCullough, and it's up there on Town Hall. It's an opinion piece, and he's spot on when it comes to what we see with the electoral map. But one of the points, the 7 points of light here in terms of the Trump landslide in 2020, because we're just right now waiting for who's going to be the sacrificial lamb, as I point out. I don't mean to sound overconfident, but folks, come on. It's hard not to be when you have Democrats just basically playing into every hand that we want them to play into, whether it be stupid ideas like the Green New Deal, or whether it be all their weird things calling everybody a racist, or their anti-Semitic Congress people and people who are holding hearings and they're falling all over themselves and making fools of themselves, and then putting forth old people like Bernie Sanders and others who are just going to be the sacrificial lambs in 2020, in my opinion. But here's why this is so important. First of all, the media and the hearings. So that's 2 of the 7. The way the Democrats have been comporting themselves is one in which they will likely just simply make fools of themselves. Americans do not have a whole lot of patience for the nonsense that the Beltway loves to cover and loves to obsess about. In fact, it's getting so boring even watching Fox News and some of these other folks, because it's just the same stuff over and over again. Hearings here, hearings here, hearings, hearings. You get a lot of here. Here's Adam Schiff, and here's Bob. It's like, man, what a bore. And so Americans really aren't necessarily tuned into their TVs, waiting for when Congressman Nadler is going to show up on his TV. Some of these people are coming out of the woodwork. I've never even heard of these people. And suddenly they're all large and in charge. I'm like, what are you doing? So most Americans are just busy with their lives, busy doing their thing, busy working, busy with the kids, busy with their families, busy just prospering like a lot of Americans are. And so they don't have a whole lot of patience for this stuff. So let me get to this here. So we've got that. We've got the Democrats who are making fools of themselves. We have a media that continues to obsessively cover these idiots in the Democrat Party who are holding all their hearings. And so we've got them actually being an apparatus of the Democratic Party. And so we've got a lot of people turned off to all that. And that's helping the president. Every single thing that comes out of the mouths of David Muir or these other folks seems to be helping the president, because you all voted for him. You're not going anywhere. And I said yesterday at the tail end of the show, so I hope you don't feel like I'm repeating myself, but it was around 10 o'clock. So I want to make sure I get this out, because this is very important. And as I always say, I like to give you all as much information as you can have for when you walk into the school or walk into the office or whatever, and you're confronted by the goofball who will continue to talk about all the hearings, and bank fraud, because they went from Russia collusion now to bank fraud or bad check. I can't even keep up with these guys. If you want to chime in here, too, by the way, you can call Tammy.com listener line. You call that one, 844-855-1380, 844-855-1380. Oh, the call Tammy.com listener line. So we've got that. So we've got the media, and we have the Democrats basically in concert, and it's not music to the ears of most Americans. But then you want to break down some of the numbers, and the numbers are the ones that really are fascinating here that McCullough breaks down. So we've got the 30 states that President Trump won on Election Day. And if you go to those 30 states and you look at the approval ratings for President Trump on the day he was sworn in, for instance, which was hovering on an average around 45%. Now, if you look at the other presidents, Obama, Clinton, and Reagan, 47, 46, 40% on the day they were sworn in. But if you go through these 30 states, you find that a lot of them, almost a majority of them, the approval ratings hover around 50%. Rasmussen's poll is showing that the top 30 states where President Trump's approval is the highest mirror the 30 states that he carried on election night. So basically, the takeaway from that is that the president is not losing anybody who he won on election night. So let's just pretend those numbers still stand. And believe me, hearings aren't going to diminish them. As I've said before, people who voted for Trump aren't going anywhere. There's no winnowing of support or waning of support for President Trump. It's just not happening. In fact, he's gaining more. He's more popular than he was on Election Day. If you take the average of the 30 states he won, he's more popular now than in the states he won on Election Day. In the states he won, more popular now in those states. Sorry, it's a little confusing, but. So let's just pretend he takes away 30 states. Well, you win an election that way. That's how he won. So if he keeps it, he wins again, easily. But here's where the landslide element comes in. If you look at the additional states where Trump lost to Hillary Clinton, if you look at 20 states, but in only 16 of those 20 states does his approval rating sit below the 40% threshold, meaning there are 4 states where there's just no hope. I mean, California and New York, it's not going to happen. Those are states that are beyond a cure. You're just never, and especially California, you're just not going to cure those people over there. It's not going to happen. But maybe it will, because the ratings for even in Minnesota, where that bozo congresswoman comes from, he's still at 39% there, 40%. Margins of error there. New Mexico, which is said to be hopeless too, he's at 38%. So that means that there are 7 additional states that are within reach, and because of their economies, because some of these states have some pretty strong working class representation, they're all benefiting from the Trump economic policies. So even in states that he lost, his approval ratings are as high as some of the states, for instance, that Obama won, and when the day he was sworn into office, those states were supportive of him. They're just as supportive now of President Trump. So now you're seeing all kinds of different states that Trump lost quite possibly coming around. And then you have the fact that people basically know who he is. They know who President Trump is now. They know what kind of leader he's been. This is what McCullough refers to as the known president. That people have no results. They see the results. McCullough points out that Reagan eventually disarmed Gorbachev, and Trump may eventually disarm Kim Jong-un. And the domestic success of the Trump presidency has surpassed historic possibilities. So he's having transformational effects on our lives and on this country that Obama could only hope to. Because remember, Obama was bright. I got my pen and a phone. He didn't do squat except for Obamacare. That was his main hunk of legislation, which unfortunately did a lot of damage. But Obama had 8 years, didn't transform this country the way President Trump has in 2. And by the way, President Trump is actually 2 years into his presidency more successful economically and growth-wise than Reagan was. And we all know what happened ultimately in 84 when Reagan ran again, and that was they put forth that poor little lamb Mondale, and he only won 1 state, and that was his home state. Then we have the element of prosperity that I talked to about earlier, and that was that if you look at every single sector of this country, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at the black population, the Hispanic population, the white-collar population, the blue-collar population, whites, blacks, you pick any segment of our society, any segment of our population, any gender, any element there, and you'll find that everybody is prospering. Everybody is getting a piece of the pie. Everybody is benefiting from the Trump policies. Now, some to a higher degree than others. And not everybody is suddenly, swimming in cash and swimming in boats and swimming in cars and doing whatever else. But the reality is, if you look at every single line, and the blue collar element is a really big one, because that was President Trump's goal, remember, that Republicans up until President Trump ran just did not talk to these individuals in the blue collar sector. They ignored them. They left them behind with bad trade deals, bad policies, supportive of regulation, bad tax policies that didn't help the companies that were employing the blue-collar workers. And so that's where you really had a situation where that's been transformational. And blue-collar wages, for instance, are increasing at a faster rate than white-collar wages are. And that's a darn good thing. So these were people who used to be the Reagan Democrats, right? Now suddenly President Trump has the Trump Democrat. There are very few people who voted Democrat or who voted for Hillary. If they're prospering now, there are very few of them who are not going to vote for President Trump at this point and keep it up. Why? When you listen to people promising more taxation, more regulation, and to cancel out air flight in the country, you really think people are going to go for that when things are just fine now? It's not going to happen. It's human nature will not allow any American to purposely vote for somebody who's going to ruin their progress. It's just not going to happen. And in fact, it's so easy to see. It was as easy to see as I saw it in 2016. You listen to one person talk and you listen to the other person talk, and you got to know that the one person talking about growth and expanding our economy and another person talking about killing it. When an old girl went over to Southern Illinois and said that she can't wait to cancel out coal jobs. It's like, you're in Southern Illinois, dummy. It's coal country. I'm going to cancel out coal. And it was like, and there's people, wait, what? Yeah, it was ridiculous. But people aren't going to vote to hurt themselves. It just doesn't happen that way. And that's all Democrats are doing is promising to ruin the economy with more of the policies that President Trump had to undo. It's just not going to happen. Your phone calls are welcome on the calltammy.com listener line, 844-855-1380. And by the way, if you haven't been able to pick up the stream yet, go ahead and get the answerstl.com, and you can download the app. No, we're not getting attacked, Phil. That's just a traffic helicopter.
That was incoming right there, man.
Phil thought,
Dude.
Phil thought we were being invaded. It's just, see, we're way up high in the building right now, and so traffic helicopters, and we're right next to 40, and so you're going to see the traffic helicopters here and there. Phil was taking off his headphones and about to run. What was I going to do? This is Allman in the Morning. It's Common Sense Radio.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, we're still wide open. We don't have any accidents. We have no delays of any kind. The only thing we're looking at is the ongoing construction projects. And midday roadwork continues today. 2 projects, both of them 9 to 3. Roadwork on eastbound and westbound 44 between 109 and Lindbergh. And roadwork on eastbound and westbound 44 between Vandeventer and 70. Those both continue again today. 6440 eastbound, a right lane closed on the Poplar Street Bridge until 4 o'clock. And 141 southbound from 6440 to Manchester, roadwork until 2:30. Traffic is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is a new initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th. Our Glock representative and a Glock armorer will be on site to answer questions or discuss your Glock firearm needs. The first 50 Glock handguns purchased will receive a free Glock range bag during the event. Sight upgrades are available for Glocks, and with a sight purchase, it can be installed on your Glock free of charge. Stop by and take advantage of the huge savings during this event on all Glock firearms, parts, and accessories. Friday and Saturday, March 15th and 16th, Denny Dennis Sporting Goods at 1 Gravois Road in Fenton. Give them a call at 636-349-9447. 636-349-9447. Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th.
Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Old Town Fenton is celebrating Glock Days. Like Denny Dennis on Facebook to get in on their specials.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Hey, it's Allman from Allman in the Morning. I want to tell you about the quality customized service you will receive when you call my friend Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He's also the top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Those are beautiful. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. So cut down on the risk of error. Schedule your appointment today with Michael Proctor. Proctor spelled like doctor, proctordrapery.com.
KXFN St. Louis, K287BY St. Louis.
Imagine doing one thing that gives you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. Think it would be worth it? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand With Israel tour through the land of Israel in December of 2019. Come with me to get firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. We'll learn about the geopolitical, economic, and spiritual dynamics of one of the most fascinating places on earth. And you'll share experiences that will change how you view the world. Walk the ancient temple steps, touch the Western Wall, sail on the Sea of Galilee, pray on the Mount of Beatitudes. The list goes on. Return home inspired, renewed, and empowered. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Israel, this is your chance. Join me for a life-changing adventure to give you a renewed sense of purpose. The 10-day Stand With Israel tour, December 2019.
Join Dennis Prager and Mike Gallagher for an unforgettable guided tour through Israel this December 2nd through 11th. Book your trip now at theanswerstl.com. Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Good morning from the Arrowhead Building Supply Studios.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
It's Allman in the Morning. It's Common Sense Radio.
It's not unusual to have fun with anyone.
Another cold but beautiful day. Call Tammy.com. Listener line is open, 844-855-1380. And my friend Ola has landed there in Chicago and will be with us just about 7:05. She's going to be heading up. She's just kind of on a layover, heading to D.C. for the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition event. She is a member of that. St. Louisan, great active conservative philanthropist and fashion designer. So she's back and forth in New York and beyond, but she's always coming up with great ideas. She helps veterans and she helps breast cancer survivors. It just is a great thing she does with all of her fashion prowess. But she's now involved politically there in D.C., so I'm going to be checking in with her at about 7:05 or so, or when we come back, because she's calling, and she and her members of the coalition are calling for the resignation of Ilhan Omar there in Minnesota based on her comments that are deemed to be anti-Semitic. But again, too, with the media complicit in 2020, and I just told you all the ways that President Trump has set the landslide, the media still tries hard to just simply softball all these contenders. And Stephanopoulos is one. He interviewed John Hickenlooper, who was the former Colorado governor, and he's running now. And here's their interview.
Governor, thank you for joining us this morning.
Get a room,
What
George.
is that crisis?
You know, I think this is a crisis of division, and I think it's probably the worst period of division that we've had in this country since the Civil War.
You know, that reminds me of President Obama when he was...
And of course, I love it, and I've told you this yesterday, I love it when all the Democrats talk about how divisive everything is, and they're only upset because we've divided them from power. We've separated them from the White House. So yeah, if you want to call that division, yep, that sure is division. I've explained it before. It's kind of like when the pitcher complains that you hit a home run off him because that you're being divisive. It's like, no, you just pitched a ball that was right down central, and I'm a good hitter, and I hit it out of the park. So in some ways, I divided you from your no-hitter. So I guess on that level, I'm divisive because I'm kicking your butt all over the field. That's what these guys are complaining about. So divisive. They just want you to agree with them. That's what it's all about. Bipartisanship, that always means they just want you to agree with their policies and come together with them. Agree, or we'll call you names. It's Common Sense Radio, all in the morning. 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. With the dawn of a new day, the search goes on in Beauregard, Alabama. Crews combing through piles of debris looking for survivors of the weekend tornadoes that leveled the town, leaving at least 23 people dead. Resident Sam Cook says it's especially difficult because Beauregard is such a small, close-knit community.
It just breaks my heart because most of these kids, you know, I've known their parents for a long time. I've known them. So it really breaks my heart.
President Trump promising help for those impacted by the severe weather in Beauregard and elsewhere across the South.
We're working closely with officials throughout the region to get our communities back on their feet.
The president is slamming the Democrats' expanding Russia probe, even as he's also promising cooperation.
As the House Judiciary Committee launched its abuse of power and obstruction investigations, the president was asked if he would cooperate.
I cooperate all the time with everybody. And you know the beautiful thing? No collusion. It's all a hoax.
The president insists he is an innocent man being persecuted by Democrats who are bent on impeaching him. He describes their effort as a political hoax. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Doctors say a British man with HIV was given a stem cell transplant and has now been 18 months off HIV drugs with no trace of the virus. It's the second time there's been such success. The first patient has been HIV-free for a dozen years. Doctors say the stem cell donor is someone with a gene mutation, providing natural resistance to HIV. When a Senate panel holds a hearing later today on the spread of preventable diseases like measles, senators will hear from, among others, an Ohio teenager who got vaccinated against the wishes of his parents. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures have turned mixed, with Dow futures down 6 points, S&P futures up a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We've got one early morning problem right now, 270 southbound, an accident on the exit ramp to Olive. We can see it from the jam cam at Olive. Otherwise, we're pretty quiet. We've got a lot of roadwork projects still. The exit from eastbound 70 to Madison, that remains closed with construction until the end of September. The King Bridge closed both directions with road work until the end of September as well. And midday work today, 9 to 3. Construction on east and westbound 44 between 109 and Lindbergh. Also 9 to 3 on eastbound and westbound 44 between Vandeventer and 70. Traffic is sponsored by SOS Children's Villages. War, poverty, and disaster have left millions of children around the world orphaned, abandoned, alone. When their parents can't be there, SOS Children's Villages is there in 134 countries, including the U.S. To make a difference in a child's life, go to sosusa.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
When you listen to the Ed Martin movement, you never know who's going to drop in.
Roma Downey is famous for being an actress, a well-known leader in the community, and today, a New York Times bestseller.
My judgment of a successful book will be knowing that one person, whoever they are, gets the book and it helps them through a time of struggle.
Well, I wrote mine to get on the New York Times bestseller list. No, I'm just teasing.
Tune in to the Ed Martin movement weekdays from 3 to 5 to find out who's dropping in next.
You have to decide, am I willing to get in right now? Is the world over? Is the good world over? Is it going to crash?
Miss your chance to ask Del a question during the show? You can connect with Del off the air, too. Go to DelOnTheRadio.com, click on the Twitter link, and ask your question. #AskDel.
I believe that a good teacher has the skill set to be able to bring people through multiple levels of learning that are completely different from one another.
Have a comment for Del instead? Use #TellDel.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
The People's Praise Party, 11 a.m. till noon on Sundays, on your way to or from church, or as you're exiting any random overnight stay. You say, Smash, you now preaching and praying? No, it's just my one-man testimony where I'm just saying. Good music, good word, and as James Brown would say, good God! It's the People's Praise Party, 11 a.m. till noon, Sundays, right here at 1380 a.m. and 105.3 FM, The Answer. Good God!
He's back.
Yes, he's back.
Allman in the morning.
Don't adjust your radio.
On 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
You're darn tootin'. It's Allman in the morning. It's Common Sense Radio, and welcome to the show. And oddly enough, as I just talked about Ilhan Omar and the news media, it's interesting how the one network that is actually covering the controversy over her would be MSNBC, of all people.
Allie, I think this is a warning shot to the freshman Congresswoman Ilhan Omar about her ongoing controversial remarks that have been primarily about Israel. And I'll get back to that in a moment because I think it's important. On Wednesday, the House will vote on a resolution condemning anti-Semitism. It's not clear, as I stand here right now, whether it will mention Congresswoman Omar by name, but the intended recipient of it is clear.
Yeah, and it's her. And so that's MSNBC, but the rest of the networks have been absolutely devoid of any coverage of this individual. Now, keep in mind, it's President Trump who everybody's been claiming is an anti-Semite, right? And the racist and the bigot and this and that. And now we have a bigot, clearly, in the U.S. House who's a Democrat, and nobody's even paying attention to her. Well, some people are. The Anti-Defamation League and the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, just to name a few. And one of those members is none other than a good friend of mine, Ola Hawatma, who is standing by in beautiful Chicago as she's laying over on the way to D.C., where, Ola Hawatma, you all will be having a news conference, correct, in the afternoon, right?
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to have you on the radio show, the terrestrial radio show. You, of course, have been a big supporter of mine throughout this whole thing with the stream and the Facebook. But you and I have been friends for a long time, Ola, and I'm so proud to call you a friend.
My favorite radio show and my favorite host.
Yeah. Thank you. And so proud of what you have been doing just on down the line, whether it be your philanthropic efforts to help people who are devastated by disasters down there in Texas, or helping first responder families, or helping women who are breast cancer survivors with your fashion prowess and your fashion shows. But now you've kind of turned some of your attention to the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition and to some political action up there in D.C., and this Ilhan Omar story is, you guys are finally saying, hey, she's got to go.
Yes, wanting her to resign. As the vice president for the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, I mean, with everything that I do, it's obviously to make a difference, and everything that I do is for the love of my country. And we ask ourselves, do we really want people who disrespect the values of our country and history and ideal, making laws like this lady? And no doubt, her anti-Semitism means she must be removed from House committees. I mean, even the Democratic Party called her statements deeply offensive. You know, we condemn these remarks, and there are no consequences. As you said, President Trump, he called her out to resign from Congress. And she attacks him. No apology, just attacks him. You know, hi, Trump, you have trafficked and hate your whole life. And everything that comes out of her mouth is not only hatred towards religion and culture, and using the excuse that she's, you know, being attacked because she's a Muslim in her job, and that's why they're attacking her. No. It's not because of that. You know, she says, I am told every day that I am anti-American if I'm not pro-Israel. So I'm calling her out. And I know I've gotten both sides, you know, people who are telling me who are, you know, for, you know, the Zionism movement, and people who are just feel that I shouldn't be having a voice. To have her removed, but I feel like it needs to be done. It needs to be done. She needs to be held accountable. You know, every word that Trump says, she's held accountable. They call her actually the Trump of the left, you know. But President Trump has common sense, and he doesn't speak with such hate. You know, especially one of the most influential countries in the world, Israel, to attack several times. And the last time, no apology or anything. But then, you know, there are no consequences.
Yeah, and the problem with it is the thing that people are going, well, what's the big deal? She disagrees with policy, but that's not really what this is, because it's one thing to disagree with policy, and people have differences of opinions about how much we deal with Israel or what we do, whatever. But she's confusing it. She's using this word allegiance, which is really odd, because a foreign policy connection with an ally is not an allegiance. And so why she's using that terminology is beyond me. And given her past history of comments, it seems to me to be disturbing. This is more than just a policy difference as far as I'm concerned, watching what she's saying.
No, I agree with you. All of her, you know, just making the controversial remarks, you know, about Israel and just, and her past.
Yeah.
You know, everything about her past is just not right.
Right, and I think from the standpoint of the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, a lot of you have to imagine that, okay, so Ilhan Omar is a Middle Eastern woman, and she's not really representing Middle Easterners very well if in this particular situation. And I think you all have clearly a vested interest. You've been trying so hard to basically make sure that people get the right idea about the Middle East and about people from the Middle East, and she doesn't seem to be helping that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, you know, we all have one thing in common is we have a voice for other Middle Eastern women who have no voice, yet we love our country. We do not create segregation with religion. You know, we speak for women of culture who've been under aggression, but this lady, I feel like everything that comes out of her mouth, she does not represent Middle Eastern women, right? She creates this barrier and this I feel like segregation, like creating like, you know, Muslims and Jews and hatred, and everything that she says is just, you know, I feel like, you know, I hate to use the word, you know, ISIS, but I'm going to say it. You know, I feel like, you know, she's, you know, they put up a poster, it was so funny, of 9/11 with her, and she really didn't have much to say about that poster. No, I mean, if you're not a Middle Eastern woman that's creating a positive impact, then obviously you shouldn't have a voice, period.
Yeah, right.
If everything that comes out of your mouth is negative and offensive, you know, not only offensive to the country, to our country, you know, that's a right. I mean, she became a citizen and she should be, you know, the gratitude. No, instead she's sitting there attacking. But respect for the president of the United States. No respect. Her comments on Twitter, you know, I just, you know, it disgusts me.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
and I guess
her being arrested, and then her you know, being married to 2 men at once, and then you know, just everything that the corruption and everything else. But yet she calls, you know, Trump a hypocrite, and how he contradicts every statement, and it's like, you know, taking the words out of my own mouth for her.
Yeah, right. And I'm assuming there are Muslim women in the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, right?
Absolutely. Yes, there is.
Yeah, so
there are actually. We have no. We do not. You know, we have Muslim, Turkish.
Yeah.
All, you know, Catholic, Christian.
Right.
It's just a group of Middle Eastern women that are coming together for one purpose, to make a positive impact and difference, and to give those who have no voice a voice. Well, and that is our mission.
Yeah, and finally, you know, you have a Muslim in Congress, for instance, and she's the worst possible example. You know, it just is. It's almost like it's a traitor to her own faith to a certain degree, because there are so many Muslims out there who are just minding their own business, like Jewish people are, like Catholic people are, whatever, and are just living their lives and adhering to their faith and doing whatever it is. And then you finally get a woman in Congress, and she's the worst possible example. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't. And what's crazy is, I mean, I'm not judging her based upon her religion,
right?
Or her. It's just the kind of person that she is. She is not a righteous individual. I mean, again, you look at her past record. You know, she's not a right person. She's just a bad person that needs to be gone. And so I'm hoping that we have over 80,000 signatures. And what's funny is, you know, I've had Middle Eastern people who have been messaging me, what a disgrace. You call yourselves Middle Eastern Women's Coalition, and you are speaking up against her?
Yeah, right. Like it's your duty to support. Yeah. I mean, like, you guys have to support her only because of ethnicity. That's crazy. No one would possibly expect that out of white people, black people, or anything else. So it's kind of like, you know, if somebody's speaking out wrongly and not doing the right thing, then you speak out. You call them out. It's that simple. Well, yeah, exactly.
And there are liberals that are saying this. They're Middle Eastern, you know, and it's Middle Eastern American liberals that are making these comments, and of course they're hearing this from her.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
Calling out all Middle Eastern Muslims to support her.
Yeah. Well, listen, I so appreciate you taking time out to talk to me here this morning as you are traveling up to D.C., and I wish you safe travels and best of luck. And thank you so much for your support, Ola Hawatma, and the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition is just really a great organization. I'm so proud of you and your accomplishments within there as vice president. So take it away, and we'll see you this afternoon when you make this announcement. Thank you.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Safe travels, Jim. That's Ola Hawatma. And if you guys want to go and see her website, it's olastyle.com, just to see what else she's up to as far as helping all of her philanthropic efforts and everything else. But this is a really great organization, the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition. Judge Napolitano is straight ahead. It's Common Sense Radio and Allman in the Morning.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, the earlier problem we had with the stall on the exit from southbound 270 to Olive has been cleared. They made quick work of that. We are now accident-free, delay-free. The only thing we're looking at are construction projects. A couple of those have returned. 6440 eastbound, right lane closed on the Poplar Street Bridge until 4. And you've got roadwork in the right lane on the ramp from northbound 55 to the eastbound Poplar Street Bridge, also until 4 o'clock. 141 southbound, 6440 to Manchester, roadwork in place there until 2:30. Traffic is sponsored by Compassion International.
Right now, there's a child living in extreme poverty with no future and no hope. But you can bring hope when you become a Compassion International sponsor. Just text the word child to 83393 and sponsor a child right now.
I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Let me tell you something about Matthew Mitchell, my friend and supporter, Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. I love the ability to have Matthew at my fingertips. And I'm talking about an ability to call him whenever I need him or to get a hold of him whenever I have a crisis. And sometimes my crisis is really kind of ridiculous. Like I can't find I'm at the MoDOT. I can't find the Department of Transportation. I can't find the Revenue Office. I can't find my insurance card or whatever. I'm saying, dude, how fast can you get me a copy of that? And he texted to me within minutes. He goes, this fast. That's the kind of great personal service you're going to get from a guy like Matthew Mitchell and the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. Low premiums and low deductibles all at the same time. And I got to tell you, I have my home insurance with him. I have my car insurance with him. And I also have my life insurance with him because he is a life insurance agent as well. So he'll be able to help you there. So here's the thing. You just have to take what the policy you have right now and run it by him, and chances are really good that he's going to be able to beat it on all levels. The premiums, the deductibles, everything else, and you get low premiums, low deductibles all at the same time. He also has a very special program for young drivers, and you know how expensive it can be to get young drivers on board because the insuring them is really kind of tough, but he's got a special program that keeps those costs low. It's the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency, 855-QUOTE-ME. That's 855-QUOTE-ME.
Hi, my name is Scott Ferguson, the Director of Outreach from St. Matthew Church in Belleville, inviting you to worship with us each Sunday. We offer 3 different worship experiences: 8 a.m. traditional, 9:17 modern, and 10:45 blended with our St. Matthew Sanctuary Choir and Orchestra. That's St. Matthew in Belleville. For additional information, visit us at stmatthewumc.org.
While cleaning out the attic, I ran across my father's classic Winchester rifle. Wanted to give it to my son for his birthday, but I didn't know what it needed in order to be restored. So I took it to Razorback Armory for a cleaning and performance check. What a great birthday present it was. My son uses it and will pass it on to my grandson someday. I know that would make my father happy if you were here today. Restore your guns to the condition they deserve. Visit the pros at Razorback Armory in De Pere, just east of 270 on Manchester. RazorbackArmory.com.
Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We are back, and you can call us at the calltammy.com listener line 844-855-1380. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's up.
I know to you I may look old. Hope this statement ain't too bold, but here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Here comes the
Judge Napolitano, welcome to the show. And by the way, you are now on officially terrestrial radio with me, as we have expanded beyond Radio Free Allman and the Facebook and the stream, and now on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer. Salem Media, they're the ones who operate this radio station and said, we're bringing Allman back to the airwaves. And so I'm honored to have you on the first time on terrestrial radio with me, Judge. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine, and congratulations to you, Jamie. It's just like the old days.
Absolutely, just like the old days.
Just like that blizzard when I wandered into your studio at 6 in the morning, needing a microphone.
I know.
100 years ago, it seems.
Oh man, no doubt about it. And thank you so much for having been with me even throughout. And so we never missed a beat there. And I so appreciate you and so appreciate your support. And wanted to ask you, though, what are you thinking about some of these hearings that were the Judiciary Committee hearings, and they're going to start dragging out all kinds of financial stuff? How do you think this is going to play out?
I think that 2019 is going to be the most acerbic, combative, divisive year in American politics since the Vietnam War era, because the Democrats in the House have unbridled power. They have a base that wants them to taunt and torment the president. The smarter of them, and that does include some of the committee chairs, because even though I disagree with a lot of what Congressman Schiff and Congressman Nadler say, I don't disagree with this, and that is that impeachment would be fruitless and unwise and would explode in their faces if it doesn't have broad national bipartisan support, and there's not a whiff of that right now, and they know that. So they can drive the president crazy if that's what they think their base wants. But if they start moving against him legally, they know they can't do that with broad support. Look, Richard Nixon didn't resign when Democrats said, we want you out. He resigned when Republicans, led by Barry Goldwater, said, we can't stop this train. It's out of the station. It's going to end up in your impeachment. I'm not suggesting that that's going to happen to Trump, but I am suggesting that that can only happen when the president's own party comes to that conclusion, and we're nowhere near that. On the other hand, Michael Cohen said many things that I thought were credible, and he threw a lot of tidbits out there, and the Democrats are going to pick up on all of them, as is law enforcement here in New York City.
Wow. So let's look at this way. There are two things happening here, because we keep hearing about the New York Attorney General or the federal prosecutors in New York, and they're apparently doing some kind of separate investigation. Cohen alluded to it, I guess, during his testimony. What happens? Can a president be indicted by this?
That's a very good question. There are 3 Justice Department opinions on this going back to Nixon and Clinton. 2 say yes, and 2 say no, the president cannot be indicted, and 1 says yes. But they all say if the statute of limitations is going to run, the period during which the prosecution must be commenced or waived, and the president is still in office, he can be indicted in secret, and the indictment then released after he leaves office. So if they want, and a lot of these statutes of limitations are for 5 years, so if they want to indict him for something that happened 4.5 years ago and he's going to be in office for the next 2 years, they might have to file an indictment and just not reveal it publicly. None of these opinions say that the president can be prosecuted while in office, but all of them contemplate the commencement of the prosecution by filing the indictment.
Okay, so and what happens if, for instance, there is some kind of campaign violation found? Presidents don't get impeached based on campaign violations, right?
Well, I'll tell you the distinction here. If the campaign violation was an innocent mistake, absolutely not. It's not a criminal issue. It's an administrative issue. You correct the filing or you make a new filing if you fail to inform them of something, and they'll fine you, and the campaign pays the fine. The president really has nothing to do with it. But if the campaign violation was an active, planned, plotted deception, as a federal judge in Manhattan has said, the Trump payments to his alleged, he's denied it, mistresses that is a criminal act. That's what is very, very dangerous for the president. This is not Bob Mueller, who he can fire. These are the full-time professional prosecutors here in New York City who are civil service and who cannot be fired and cannot be controlled. They have an ethical duty to go where the evidence leads them. They're the ones who are on the president's trail, and they pose a far more dangerous prospect to his freedom and happiness than does Bob Mueller.
Interesting. Well, Judge Napolitano, as always, I call you the thresher because you just crack on through all. You separate the wheat from the chaff, buddy, and you do it so well, and I so appreciate you.
Jamie, I'm so happy that you're with Salem. I know them. They're wonderful people. And it's another page in your illustrious career, and I'm thrilled to play a small role in it.
Thank you so much, Judge. I appreciate you, as always, and we'll see you on TV, my friend.
You got it, my man. Talk to you next week. All the best.
You too. Great. That's Judge Andrew Napolitano, and of course, he knows Salem media. And I told you before the inaugural show, I so appreciate what Salem media has done to bring Allman in the Morning back and to bring all of our voices back. And they are a great company. You know, they own a publishing house, and I'm working on a possible book with them right now. And they own Hot Air and Town Hall, all these illustrious websites that are informing you and entertaining you. And, of course, radio stations all throughout the country. So the judge is impressed. If he's impressed, well, I'm impressed.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. With the dawn of a new day, the search goes on in Beauregard, Alabama. Crews combing through piles of debris looking for survivors of the weekend tornadoes that leveled the small town, leaving at least 23 people dead. President Trump promising help for those impacted by the bad weather across the South. The president is slamming the Democrats' expanding Russia probe, even as he's promising to cooperate with the investigation. Doctors say a British man with HIV was given a stem cell transplant and has now been off HIV drugs for 18 months without a trace of the virus. It's the second time there has been such success. A Senate panel will hold a hearing today looking at the spread of preventable diseases like measles. On Wall Street, Dow futures up 19 points. S&P futures 3.5 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We're completely wide open right now. No accidents, no delays. Everything is clear. We're looking at road work. That's the one thing. Again today, 141 southbound from 6440 to Manchester. You'll see construction until 2:30. We also have a right lane closed on 6440 eastbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. That's until 4 o'clock. And you'll see road work in the right lane on the ramp from northbound 55 to the eastbound Poplar Street Bridge until 4 o'clock. None of these projects causing delays right now, so things looking pretty good. And traffic is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America invites you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org.
I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380, The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Let's face it, we love Alexa, and we love to let her find your favorite radio station. This one, of course. We love it, too, when she finds us. But she could find us easier if we taught her a simple skill. To get started, simply say, Alexa, Enable The Answer St. Louis skill.
After she confirms, you can then say,
Alexa, play The Answer St. Louis. That's all you have to do, and Alexa will learn how to find us. You can listen to us through your Amazon Echo, Echo Show, Echo Dot, and Amazon Tap devices. Alexa, what is your favorite radio station?
That's easy. 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
You love that smell. That new truck smell. All cleaned up and ready to go.
Did you get your vent visor?
You know, the rain guard that goes over your window? Stop by Custom Car and Truck in O'Fallon, Illinois for free installation and lifetime warranty on vent visors.
How about your bug shield? You don't want to mess up the hood of your new truck with dead bugs. Keep them off the hood with free installation and lifetime warranty bug shield.
See John and the crew off Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois,
or online at customcarandtruck.com.
Glock Days are back at Danny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th. Our Glock representative and a Glock armorer will be on site to answer questions or discuss your Glock firearm needs. The first 50 Glock handguns purchased will receive a free Glock range bag during the event. Sight upgrades are available for Glocks, and with a sight purchase, it can be installed on your Glock free of charge. Stop by and take advantage of the huge savings during this event on all Glock firearms, parts, and accessories. Friday and Saturday, March 15th and 16th, Denny Dennis Sporting Goods at 1 Gravois Road in Fenton. Give them a call at 636-349-9447. 636-349-9447. Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th.
Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Old Town Fenton is celebrating Glock Days. Like Denny Dennis on Facebook to get in on their specials.
Are you ready to sell your house, but you don't know who to trust with a listing? I'm Tammy Mitchell-Hines, and I sell a house every 30 hours in the Metro East. From staging your house to filling out all of the paperwork, my team is here to guide you step by step through the process of selling your house and getting the most value from it. Serving in Monroe, St. Clair, and Madison counties in Illinois. Go to calltammy.com and let us do the work for you. If you buy or sell a house with me, you can use my moving truck for free. Just go to calltammy.com.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
What's up, everybody? CallTammy.com. Listener line is open. 844-855-1380. If you have any kind of medical knowledge or whatever, if you could talk us guys in our 50s off the ledge, if you don't mind, over this whole Luke Perry thing. Because every time you see stories like that, you're like going, uh-oh, I'm going to get one of those. It's going to happen to me. I'm serious. I'm not a hypochondriac by any stretch of the imagination, but that kind of stuff is always so terrifying and so eye-opening, and you don't know how it happens. It happens so suddenly, and then you're seeing all this video of him, and he's just looking just fine, thank you very much, and then suddenly it happens. And it's my understanding that sometimes for younger people, and you know, when you're 52, you're still young, right? Yeah, still young. Sometimes I guess it's almost like heart attacks. It's worse when you're younger for some reason, like it affects you more. So if you all have if you're out there and you're in the medical community and you would like to offer a little bit of advice to those of us who are freaking out as we watch our fellow 50-somethings die off or tragically die, then fill me in, please. 844-855-1380. I've been hearing, you hear Mike Gallagher talking about the links to abortion and everything else. What do you guys do? You want me to get off the air, do you, Maxie? You trying to run me out here? You heard Mike Gallagher earlier talking about, people are always suspicious of organizations that have links to abortion. And I have to tell you that I've always had an aversion to, I try not to pick on the Girl Scouts. mainly because I've heard like people, girls coming and wanting to sell Girl Scout cookies and then getting yelled at by people who answer the door, because you support abortion, you're Girl Scout support abortion. It's like, I try to tell people, please leave the girls alone, because they have no idea what's going on or any of the controversies. And sometimes I wonder if the controversies are too much. I also know that there are other organizations out there for girls that the girls are involved in, and so people make their choices and choose maybe not to do this. But this is one that's just coming out where we're looking at there's a website called mygirlscoutcouncil.com, and the co-editor is Christy Volansky, and the creator is Anna Saladin. And they have spent almost a decade documenting the Girl Scouts of the USA, the relationship with the abortion industry, Planned Parenthood, and then also political leaders who support abortion. And this is their conclusion, that the Girl Scouts enjoy a cozy relationship, in the words of this website, with the abortion industry. And then now also this magazine called Teen Vogue is getting involved, and I can't even really, I'm not going to do it on terrestrial radio here, but they promote in Teen Vogue something called reproductive justice. And they also offer a tutorial on certain kinds of acts related to intimacy. And so this is Teen Vogue. And on Friday, the My Girl Scout Council website, it's mygirlscoutcouncil.com. Oh, they managed to grab that website. The people in the IT department of Girl Scouts ought to be thinking about, hey, how'd they get mygirlscoutcouncil.com as part of this? Anyway, they got it, though. And they posted a Facebook deal, and that the Girl Scouts Gold Award, which is its highest honor, went to a reproductive health justice project to educate people about and destigmatize access to women's health care. And so it was kind of weird, because it was because it seems to be promoting, the Women's March and all this kind of stuff. And nothing wrong with promoting women and women political power and female power and that kind of thing. But the Girl Scouts of Central California Instagram featured a post celebrating former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, specifically because she was a key swing vote in many important cases, including upholding Roe versus Wade. And there have been conflicting stories from the Girl Scouts and the organization's officials about its ties to the abortion industry. Now, I remember that there have been certain organizations that have focused on, for instance, breast cancer, and some of them have been tied to Planned Parenthood or what have you, and they have maintained that their ties are mainly to the medical maintenance end of Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood does do some things related to, I guess, women's health, but also participate in abortion. I'm not quite sure how the actual money is divvied up. Like, can you direct your support just for one aspect of Planned Parenthood? I don't know. Planned Parenthood claims you do, but the organization states on its website regarding these issues of human sexuality, birth control, and abortion that it doesn't. This is the Girl Scouts organization, that it does not take a position or develop materials on these issues. and they deny having a relationship or partnership with Planned Parenthood. But she's pointed out that the woman who runs this website, mygirlscoutcouncil.com, that local Girl Scout councils and individual troops are permitted to partner with Planned Parenthood. Now, I want to show you a video or play for you a video from October of 2004. And this is where actually the former Girl Scouts USA CEO, Kathy Cloninger, actually confirmed a partnership between Girl Scouts and Planned Parenthood. This is apparently her confirmation of that.
As the largest voice for and advocate for girls across the country, know that girls grow up with very complex issues facing them. And so we do, across the country, tackle the issues of human sexuality and body image and all of the things that girls are facing. And we partner with many organizations. We have relationships with our church communities, with YWCAs, and with Planned Parenthood organizations across the country to bring information-based sex education programs to girls.
Okay, so that was a confirmation, and I know she's the former CEO, but at that time she was the current CEO, essentially confirming that there is an interactivity between the Girl Scouts organization and these organizations that are promoting reproductive health and all that kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure why they're really involved. I'm not quite sure many people who get their kids involved in the Girl Scouts really get them involved to get involved in reproductive issues and that kind of thing. I didn't know that that's what the Girl Scouts was about. Now, there are a lot of people, as they report on this story and these developments brought to you by mygirlscoutcouncil.com, they say, well, what about the cookies? What about the cookies? Where do the cookies come into this? Like when you buy cookies from the Girl Scouts, do the sales go directly to Planned Parenthood? And the Girl Scouts will tell you no, and the media folks who cover the Girl Scouts will tell you no, they do not. That when you buy cookies from the Girl Scouts, you're not funding Planned Parenthood. That's what the claim happens to be. And I can't verify one way or the other what that situation is, but the people who are operating this website that monitors the Girl Scouts, they're pointing out that the relationship just basically between the Girl Scouts organization and that Planned Parenthood is presented to the girls in a variety of different forms through the organization is much more insidious, as they say, than any kind of financial relationship might be. So she's pointing out that, so a lot of critics are focusing on the relationships between Girl Scouts and Planned Parenthood, but the concerns are much broader than this because the Girl Scout organization is tied to so many of these activists and politicians and others and pro-abortion organizations. And so it doesn't matter whether or not there's a Planned Parenthood component here. This woman is maintaining that's not the worst part of this, that in fact it's this idea that they're cavorting at such a high level with all kinds of different organizations that seem to be very supportive of abortion and of Planned Parenthood. And again, my only takeaway from this, and it always is focused on this, and that is on the girls. And I would recommend, and that's the one thing I try to caution people about, is if a Girl Scout comes to your doorstep, I would imagine that there might be some way you could wiggle out of it if you're not really wanting to do it and wanting to buy the cookies. There's probably some way to wiggle out of it without actually engaging in a discussion of Planned Parenthood with a 9-year-old girl or a 10-year-old girl, I would probably not. I would save that for maybe the council or whatever, because these girls oftentimes, some of them don't even know what's going on, or even if there's a controversy or what have you. So that's my advice. But you can do whatever you want to do with it. Did you see this? I normally try not to bring you The View because a lot of you don't watch The View. And so why would I subject you to The View when you don't watch The View? You're like, stop playing The View. I try to avoid The View as much as I possibly can, Jamie. Don't keep playing sound bites from The View. But sometimes I'm going to bring you something that is a good thing. Meghan McCain, who I have mixed views of Meghan McCain. Sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. That whole thing with her dad and the funeral and Trump was very annoying. And so she's annoying sometimes. But sometimes she gives us a little bit of a gem. So she was actually on The View yesterday, and there was a Washington State Governor Jay Inslee. He was the guest on The View, a 2020 Democrat contender, quite possibly. And you're like, who? I'm like, I don't know who that is either. But either way, he was supporting the whole so-called Green Deal thing. Meghan McCain kind of got up in his pants leg, and they wound up cutting to a commercial to avoid the controversy. And when Meghan McCain just got him dead to rights.
Unicorn from another planet. But climate change doesn't even hit my top 30 of how I vote for somebody. So I do think I am on this panel to say isn't what's selling me on you beating Trump. And I say that with respect. Mm-hmm. What's also not selling me on beating Trump is the new Green Deal, which all of the 2020 contenders have endorsed. Mm-hmm. It would cost $93 trillion or to every person.
By the way, it seems to me that Meghan McCain is up for beating Trump, but just isn't up for beating Trump based on the Green Deal. And if that's the case, I'm back to not liking her. But I don't know. She seems to be open to the idea of how nice it would be to have Trump being beaten. But anyway, let's stick with the issue here.
Panels, you heard about Obamacare. Republicans talked about death panels. Yeah. We didn't have death panels, and we don't have $600,000 cost. Mm-hmm. This is a thing that I think has been helpful in our discussion in a variety of ways. Number one, we're talking about climate change. That is of value.
But
we're also talking about high ambition.
Could you give an example to just the average person in here how they can help where it doesn't sound so irrational? I mean, we're talking about $51 trillion, the elimination of planes, the elimination of cows, a railway, no planes. I guess nobody can go to Hawaii anymore. It doesn't sound that rational to me.
It isn't rational because those are the things that Donald Trump said. We are not going to eliminate cars. We are not going to eliminate trains. We're going to have what I have in my driveway today, which is a blue GM Bolt made in Michigan with American workers. That's what we're going to have, okay? We're going to have televisions powered by solar and wind energy. We're going to have potentially ways to fly airplanes on biofuels. We have flown a Boeing 737 across the Atlantic Ocean now, and biofuels developed in my state. The point is that when we think about our opportunities here,
And the biofuel thing is always intriguing and potentially attractive, but right now, bringing biofuels to market is hugely difficult and hugely expensive. It's not as easy as digging something out of the ground, refining it, and squirting it into an airplane or a car. That's the way we like to do things now because it's efficient. Now, I guess there's a possibility that biofuels could be ultimately easier to market and easier to get involved in, but for now, it doesn't seem plausible.
A lot of environmentalists don't.
I mean, they flew one plane with biofuels. Come on.
They want the average American to spend $600,000 in their household, and none of this.
They just said that wasn't really true.
But that's what's proposed on the new Green Deal.
Actually, that is not what is proposed. Let's get this straight. That is not proposed in the new Green Deal. Okay?
Well, then
I just want to be real straight about this.
Then I guess, Governor, you've got no problems with voters then.
We don't. And let me.
I have to cut you off, sir.
Yeah. So you know Joy Behar, who is the oops, sorry. Hang on. Yeah, Joy Behar, who apparently now has taken over the Whoopi Goldberg spot to a certain degree, just simply cut Meghan McCain off because she didn't want any more debate about this. But good for Meghan McCain to at least bring it up and make a few people uncomfortable And it's always good when we have a little bit of daylight on The View. Hey, coming up, 8 o'clock, Henry Davis is in the house. This is Common Sense Radio, and it's Allman in the Morning.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We're still holding on to one accident, and it's a good-sized delay. 6440 eastbound is jammed up from Woods Mill to before 270 with that crash. But the earlier accident on 270 eastbound at Lindbergh South, that one has now cleared. 270 northbound still a big backup there between 55 and Manchester. 44 eastbound Bowles to 270. And then Elm to Laclede Station Road, you'll see some delays. 55 southbound tight. 64 to the 5544 underpass, and still some big delays on 6440 eastbound. Boone's Crossing to Timberlake Manor, Clayton Worson to Big Bend. Traffic is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer. Stand Up to Cancer is a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that will get new therapies to patients quickly and save lives now. Visit standuptocancer.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
I always love a chance to hang out with Michael Proctor. I love to be able to go out and have a drink with him or have lunch with him or what have you, because I love hearing what Michael has to say about politics and about conservatism, and he is a passionate guy. He is just like you, as just a regular guy, a regular American citizen who is digging the Trump administration and what's been going on with our economy. And so you don't get a more passionate guy than Michael Proctor. So when you're trying to decide what you want to do, for instance, with your house, with looking at all of your wonderful little accoutrements as it relates to your window treatments, or how are you going to transform your house? Sometimes remodeling your house is a big deal, but you know what? You don't have to go that far. A few window treatments can really transform your house and make it something to behold. So when you invite Michael Proctor into your home, you're not only inviting a common sense brother into your home, you're inviting a man who has a mobile design unit, who's available to you 7 days a week, who comes into your house, and he's an interior designer too. So you're not having that third party where you're having to spend more money. You've got the guy right there. It's all in one full package, and that's pretty amazing. And I've had 3 different jobs done at my home with Michael's expertise, and he just does a great job, has a great eye, and cuts to the chase with you and is able to help you out and help you choose a beautiful window treatment. And I'm talking about the Norman shutters. These are plantation shutters, all kinds of different blade widths for you. They're just beautiful. And then you also have the Roman shades, and you have the side panels, and he has got the highest end kind of quality materials you're going to find, and all of the latest, most modern, up-to-date hardware. I say modern, you can actually go off the grid and do something ultra-modern. You could do something ultra-classic. It doesn't matter. Michael likely has everything that you might want. You might be thumbing through a Southern Living magazine, see something you like, and I guarantee you Michael can make sure it's in your home lickety-split. So check it out on the web. It's ProctorDrapery.com. Proctor spelled like doctor, ProctorDrapery.com.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Attention gun enthusiasts. Interested in purchasing a suppressor, but worried the new gun laws might make it a tough process? Razorback Armory in Des Peres is your home for the new Silencer Shop kiosk system. No need to go to several locations to prepare for your application, photo submissions, and fingerprint cards. Still have questions? Razorback Armory has answers. Visit the pros at Razorback Armory in De Pere, just east of 270 on Manchester. RazorbackArmory.com.
Hi, my name is Scott Ferguson, the Director of Outreach from St. Matthew Church in Belleville, inviting you to worship with us each Sunday. We offer 3 different worship experiences: 8 a.m. traditional, 9:17 modern, and 10:45 blended with our St. Matthew Sanctuary Choir and Orchestra. That's St. Matthew in Belleville. For additional information, visit us at stmatthewumc.org.
KXFN St. Louis, K287BY St. Louis.
You love that smell, that new truck smell, all cleaned up and ready to go.
Did you get your vent visor?
You know, the rain guard that goes over your window? Stop by Custom Car and Truck in O'Fallon, Illinois for free installation and lifetime warranty on vent visors.
How about your bug shield? You don't want to mess up the hood of your new truck with dead bugs. Keep them off the hood with free installation and lifetime warranty bug shield.
See John and the crew off Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois,
or online at customcarandtruck.com.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Good morning this morning. It's Allman in the morning. It's Common Sense Radio. And we are just about 2 or 3 minutes away from having my old friend Henry Davis in the house. Well, he's in the house now, but trying to figure out that microphone. It's okay. We got time. We got time, buddy. Henry Davis, fresh from his visit to the White House and his gaggle with President Trump. He's the man. He'll be with us in just a few. Your phone calls are welcome also on the calltammy.com listener line, 844-855-1380. Appreciate you as always. We are in the Arrowhead Building Supply Studios. And thanks for those folks, too, and their support as well. Phone calls welcome. It's Common Sense Radio. All in the morning.
This hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The death toll remains at least 23 in the small town of Beauregard, Alabama, devastated by tornadoes last weekend. Dozens of people are unaccounted for as search crews continue the task of sifting through mountains of wreckage.
Some homes were just obliterated. Dax Leandro is going through debris, hoping to find belongings for friends.
They're alive. A lot of people didn't make it out, so it's devastating in this area. It's just heartbreaking.
Governor Kay Ivey says this is a sad time in Alabama, but the people here are strong.
Y'all, we will overcome this loss. We've done it before. We'll do it again, and we'll do it together.
Crews searching door to door are using dogs as well as drones that can detect heat from a body. I'm Ed Donahue.
The White House says congressional Democrats are on a fishing expedition by investigating President Trump for possible obstruction of justice, corruption, and abuse of power.
According to Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee have opened an investigation because they are terrified that their 2-year false narrative of Russia collusion is crumbling. In a written statement, she accuses Democrats of playing pathetic political games and says Democrats are not after the truth, they are after the president.
That's White House correspondent Greg Clugston. And here's one Democrat who apparently will not be seeking the presidency in 2020.
I'm not running, but I'm going to keep working and speaking and standing up for what I believe.
Hillary Clinton talking with News 12 Westchester. For the second time, a man underwent a stem cell transplant is apparently HIV-free. Doctors say the British man has been off HIV drugs for about 18 months now with not a trace of the virus. On Wall Street this hour, stock futures are higher. Right now, Dow futures up about 17 points, as S&P futures 3.5 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
A couple of accidents still causing problems out there this morning. On 270 northbound, 2 left lanes blocked before 44. Your big backup, stop and go from Tesson Ferry. We can see the accident from the jam cam north of Gravois. And 6440 eastbound is completely jammed from Boone's Crossing to before 270 with an accident there. 270 northbound, Slows also Big Bend to Manchester. We've got delays on 55 northbound Broadway to the Poplar Street Bridge, and still slowing on 55 southbound 64 to the 5544 underpass. Traffic is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is a new initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma possibly filing for bankruptcy. December construction spending lower, and Disney CEO Bob Iger gets a pay cut. Those stories next.
G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free. I want to personally thank all my Plug-in Pest Free customers who have taken the time out to call, write, and who have left messages to thank me for ridding their homes and businesses of unwanted rodent and pest problems. So from me to you, I thank you. Plug-in Pest Free is the only scientifically tested and, more importantly, consumer-proven electromagnetic pest management system since 1995. Why put up with those annoying rodents and pests any longer? Plug-in Pest Free is 100% chemical-free, making it your safest bet to manage your rodent and pest problems around your family and pets. With a 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. So order yours today at gopestfree.com. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com today.
Reuters reports that Purdue Pharma, manufacturer of painkiller OxyContin, is pursuing a filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Purdue officials are concerned about massive liability from thousands of lawsuits that charge that OxyContin is addictive and a dangerous opiate. American construction spending edging lower, down 0.6% in December as the number of both residential and government projects fell. The figures from late 2018 were just released, delayed by January's partial government shutdown. The Walt Disney Company cutting CEO Bob Iger's future salary by more than $13 million. That's what the company officials will announce at Thursday's annual shareholder meeting, but we needn't feel too badly for Mr. Iger. He still has a base salary of some $3 million. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Larry Elder explains how hard Trump has been on Russia.
The president has been the toughest on Russia than any modern president. Trump has pulled out of this treaty with Russia that Russia was violating. Trump has armed the Ukrainians. He's made us more energy efficient. He's condemned that pipeline that Russia is building between its country and Germany, and the president's being reamed as soft on Russia.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 5 on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer. Breaking news, stimulating talk.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare contracts, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. 800-290-7100.
Glock Days are back at Danny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th. Our Glock representative and a Glock armorer will be on site to answer questions or discuss your Glock firearm needs. The first 50 Glock handguns purchased will receive a free Glock range bag during the event. Sight upgrades are available for Glocks, and with a sight purchase, it can be installed on your Glock free of charge. Stop by and take advantage of the huge savings during this event on all Glock firearms, parts, and accessories. Friday and Saturday, March 15th and 16th, Denny Dennis Sporting Goods at 1 Gravois Road in Fenton. Give them a call at 636-349-9447. 636-349-9447. Glock days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th.
Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Old Town Fenton is celebrating Glock Days. Like Denny Dennis on Facebook to get in on their specials.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Don't fence me in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning this morning. Good morning this morning, everybody. Oh, wow. You see Saturday Night Live and their Dianne Feinstein deal? That was pretty funny. I don't really watch Saturday Night Live. And I think What's His Bones' imitation of Trump is terrible. Alec Baldwin? You think that's any good? Maxie, do you think it's any good? You're the media critic. No, they're all shaking their heads. These people are all Phil and Maxie are me. Well, listen, it's three against one, Alec Baldwin. Quit!
I think the last great impersonation on Saturday Night Live was Harry Carey with, what's his name? Will. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wasn't there a guy who did Clinton, too? He was pretty good. Daryl Hammond. Daryl Hammond was always pretty good. But this Dianne Feinstein one was great. I'll play it for you just a little bit, but I want to make sure that you know who's in the house here. And his name, ladies and gentlemen, is Henry Davis. Henry Davis, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, JB? What's going on, J Buddy, baby?
Hey, it's Fat Tuesday.
I can't hear myself, but it's all good.
Yeah, I don't think your mic is on.
Hey, now I can hear a little bit of something. Now I can hear a little bit of something. What's going on, partner?
I brought in my dad's Al Hurt Dixieland Jazz box set, man.
Uh-oh, Al Hurt. Let me check that out.
And
the heart of Dixieland, the heart and soul of Dixieland Jazz.
Right on, buddy.
That's what it do.
Yeah. I brought
LP,
it in.
baby.
It's an LP. It's a long player. Speaking of long players, Henry Davis, how you doing?
What's going on, J Money?
How is everything? I'm gonna get an update from you because I'm just hearing about.
Yes, sir. This mic, this thing here, I don't know what's
well, you know
going
why?
on.
Here's the deal. The mics are designed for people to sit.
Oh, well, I need to sit down.
You want to sit down?
Yeah, because this ain't working for me.
I don't sit.
Okay.
So
let me have a seat.
Yeah. So apparently, I basically had to get a court order just to be able to stand up in this studio. but you can sit down. I don't ever sit.
Court order, J Money?
I don't ever sit down. I don't like sitting down.
You said the old court order, huh?
Well, everybody always even when I'm at like a you know how you're at soccer games or something.
Yeah.
And somebody says, "You want to sit down?" Like, no, I don't want to sit down.
I don't want to have a seat, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to have a seat. And especially when you come into some place going, "Go ahead and have a seat. We'll get you." But I'm not going to sit down.
Right. I don't feel like it. I've been sitting all night.
I cause trouble.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask
Trouble
you
in River City
Good
with
morning,
a capital T that rhymes with P that stands for pool.
First of all, how's the book doing?
I got 2 left.
Wait, just 2 books left?
Well, in my person. And I heard you plugging that you're getting ready to do a book.
Well, yeah.
So I thought I'd probably get these last 2 off before you get because your book is going to be a bestseller. So I said, well, I got 2 more books right now for anybody listening. They want to get a book right now. Then, they can email me and I'll get, I'll give them the old Allman in the Morning special.
And you're going to sign it?
I'm going to sign them right now.
Nice.
Right now for the first 2 people that emails me or inboxes me on Twitter or Facebook, says you want the book. I heard you on Allman in the Morning. I'll take $10 off.
I love it, buddy.
I got 2 left, baby.
Now, tell me the story about what happened in D.C.
My God.
Here's the thing, though. I'm sorry that I didn't. I actually didn't. Right. Well, I wasn't able to kind of plug into that because I would have been much more. I would have been much more
adamant about it.
Yeah, I would have been much more helpful to you had I known exactly what happened. But I knew you went up there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know
let me tell
what
you,
else happened as a result of all that.
Let me tell you, man, I was casket clean. You hear me, J Money? Casket clean. I had a brown coffee suit on, partner.
Wow.
And I ain't had a suit on in 5 years.
Yeah.
Man, I was casket clean, man. Got up to the White House, man, and standing in line doing interviews and doing all kind of taking photos, and went up there and handed the people my ID. Your old driver's license. And then they said, well, Mr. Davis, so you step over to the side for a minute. I said, okay, I'm over here with the special people. There's about 14 of us over there, about 14. We all stand to the side. So other people coming up, and they going through. They say, hey, Henry, hey, y'all, I see y'all in a minute. What's going on? So the Secret Service dude come over to me. He said, you Henry Davis? I said, yeah. He said, come on, walk with me for a minute. I'm like, I got my White House connects inside. My Pastor Darrell Scotts and my Kareem Laniers. I'm thinking I'm finna go in through the back door.
Wait a minute. So they had you separately?
Yeah, they put you in like a little cage. In a little timeout area.
And how do they determine who's going to be in that cage?
Well, after they look at your ID.
Okay.
Then, run your ID, and then they put you over into the little timeout area. And if there's
an
issue,
they don't just look at you. They don't look at your ID and move on. They run the ID.
They actually run
through a computer.
Through a computer database. Tack, 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 tack.
While you're standing there.
While you standing right there, player. While you standing right there. So I go. So he say, "You Henry Davis?" I'm like, I'm like, yeah, baby. I got the special treatment. I'm finna go over to I'm finna go in through the back door, baby. So we start heading towards the street.
So you think you're going right to the Oval Office at that point?
I think I'm going to see Pastor Scott and Kareem Lanier. I'm thinking I'm getting a special treatment. I'm Henry Davis. What?
You're thinking maybe they got a check for $1 million.
Man, look, I'm
just
ready.
for this group.
They check this out, J Money.
How many were in the group that you were?
It was 14 right there.
14.
I counted. Even little, I don't know if you ever heard of the little young black guy, little black boy, C.J. Pearson, the real little famous.
Yeah, sure.
He was in the group. So I'm thinking we in a special group. I'm over here with little CJ. It was a lady in a wheelchair over there.
Yeah.
A couple other people. So I'm like, okay. So he said Henry Davis. I said, yeah. He said, come on, little short Secret Service.
I'm listening.
I could have took him if I wanted to. I could have took him. So I said, come on. So I'm finna go to the side. I'm like, all right, y'all. I holler at y'all. They're like, hooray. I'm getting cheers. Henry. Man, we start walking towards the gate. I said, what? I said, hold on, where we going? He said, I got to tell you that they said you can't get in.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing about it. I'm just thinking to myself,
that's the first thing I did.
Man.
I started laughing. I said, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
I said, it's a joke, right? I said, it's a joke. He said, nah, man, your license is suspended. I said, what? He said, you don't have no other form of ID? I said, no, I told the guy no, because the guy asked me, he said, well, do you have another form of ID? I said, no, he didn't say why he was asking me. He just said, do you have another form of ID? I said, no. He said, well, step to the side.
Oh, man.
I said, so, wait a minute, player. I said, no. I'm from St. Louis. I'm Henry Davis. I'm Henry Davis, partner. Do you know who you talking to, player?
So let me ask you this: of the 14, was everybody's license suspended or something?
Come to find out, CJ's last number, his Social Security number, they had it wrong in the computer.
Okay.
The lady in the wheelchair, she needed special assistance.
Okay, so you were the only one with a suspended license.
The only one with a suspended license. Out of 100, it was 152 black people there, and Henry Davis was the only one that had a suspended driver's license. How go figure?
Well, and by the way, let me ask you this, though.
Hold on, let me finish telling you.
Well, what does it matter, though, I'm wondering?
Because my identification is not valid.
Well, your license is suspended, but you still have an ID.
Yeah, but not. They talking about that's the White House. You going to see the president, player. So hold on. So
it's okay.
My heart started beating real fast. You know when you get that dry mouth. I started thinking about all these people that donated this money to me, J Money. I said, you gonna love this. I started thinking about all these people that donated money. I said, I gotta make a scene or something. I can't go, what? Just to say I couldn't get in. Ain't nobody gonna try to hear that. Man, I said, no, I ain't going nowhere. He said, Mr. Davis, I mean, unless you got another form of ID, we can't. I said, I ain't going nowhere. This the only ID I got. I ain't going nowhere. Y'all, look, somebody finna do something. And then so he get, you know how he put that little finger up to the ear. And he said, so we got a 3130 out here. So I said, well, come on with it today. Come on with it. I ain't going. I said, look, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail today, player. I'm going to jail. So all of a sudden, I look down towards where I come from. It's about 4 of them walking real fast. I said, it's finna go down, player. It's finna go down. Come on with it. Y'all got to take me.
4 Secret Service agents?
They coming. They like, you know, they line up, step off. All right. They on their way. Time to come get the black man.
And you're still thinking President Trump's going to maybe walk down the hallway and go, hands off.
No, I was
Davis.
outside.
Oh, yeah.
I never even made it inside. I didn't even get a chance to get in the building. They got a tent, a checkpoint that you go through. And so I'm talking about, it was 150 black folk there. I'm the only one. So I said, look, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this, because I ain't finna go back to St. Louis and look, let's make it happen.
They let you on the airplane with a suspended license?
Yeah, all of that. So they come on up to me and they came on up to me, and so my phone rang. It was a call from a guy from the inside, right? He said, Henry, what's going on? What's going on? I said, man, they won't let me in this place, man. Look, man, I'm finna go to jail. He said, don't do that, Henry, because then we're gonna have to be covering a whole nother story. Don't do that, Henry. Don't do that, Henry. Just let me work on it for a minute. I said, man, get your hands off me, man, because they trying to put me on. They said, well, you gotta step outside the gate. So I said, man, I ain't going nowhere. I mean, come on, J Money, you know me. Man, I'm fine. I'm ready to go to jail. It didn't make me no. At that point, I'm already screwed.
And now you didn't have all this on tape or anything, did you?
No, because, you know, I ain't want to break. I'm talking to the dude on the phone. I'm talking to Kareem Lanier.
You'd be face down on the ground if you were videotaping these guys.
I'm talking to Kareem. That's why I wasn't videotape. I'm talking to Kareem Lanier. I'm talking to my White House connect. He's like, well, Henry, we're going to try to figure this out. We're going to try to figure this out. Just go on, step outside the gate. And just don't mess this up, because if anything will get you to one-on-one. I said, oh, really? He said, come on, man, don't mess this up.
A one-on-one with the president
yes,
after all this?
Sir.
Okay.
See, the people don't know about that.
Yeah.
Exclusive right here on J Money Show. Yeah, when I see the president, when I look President Donald Trump in the face, it will be one-on-one.
Wow.
Yeah.
After all this.
After all of this. But hold on, let me get to finish it up a little bit.
Kids, make sure your license is suspended.
Yeah.
You'll meet the president.
Yeah. And so, but what got me is I said, all of these dang on black people here, and I'm the only one got a suspended license. I'm talking about, man, I made a scene. So Kareem was like, well, about an hour, I'm standing out on the front. So the motorcade come by. I start crying like a baby. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna be able to get it. I'm SpongeBobbing, baby. I'm crying like a big baby on the side. I'm outside the White House, crying like I'm talking about casket clean. Well, I got dressed up to stand on the corner.
Now they call dressed up casket clean.
Yeah, in the black community,
casket clean.
Casket clean, because you can't get no cleaner than you are when you're in the casket. I'm casket clean, J Money.
All right.
So I see the motorcade come by. Groo! Police sirens. My heart started beating fast again. I'm like, well, maybe he can roll down the window or something, and I can take a picture or something. Man, and that motorcade went on by.
That wouldn't have worked out well for you had you ran towards the motorcade.
No, I thought about it though.
Maybe if I just run towards the limo, it'll help.
I thought about it. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was so hurt. I was more hurt, not the fact that I didn't get a chance to see him, because I'm gonna do a one-on-one with him.
Yeah.
I was more hurt for the people that, you know, that helped me get there and stuff like that. But wait a minute. There's always a bright side to the story, kind of like with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a bright side to the story. So I was sitting there about an hour past. I've been standing out there for about an hour. And they getting ready to, you know, president just showed up. He getting ready to do his thing. So I get a call back from Kareem. Kareem's like, hey, Henry, man, I don't know what I'm trying. This is a Secret Service thing. This is not a White House thing.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Service is totally different from what the White House got going on.
Right.
For real. I mean, I learned a lot about Secret Service and how things operate that day.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, man, I'm trying, man. But if you ain't, he said, you ain't got a Social Security card. And I said, man, only thing I had in my pocket was my ID, because that's all I needed. And he said, well, did you know? So I said, damn right, I knew it was suspended.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I knew my license was suspended. I ain't got no.
What was it suspended for?
Some traffic tickets. Some dang on traffic ticket. Yeah, I knew my license was suspended. Come on now.
All right. Well, can you hold on a second? I need to keep you, but I got to go and get people caught up on traffic and everything else. Just take a break.
You had to go pee.
No, just take it. No, I don't. Okay. You said we're just going to take a break. And
all right, come on with it. Come on.
I mean, you know I have a.
I'm gonna wrap the story up, and I'm gonna give you the real good stuff.
All right, that sounds good. It's Henry Davis, everybody. This is Allman in the Morning. It's Common Sense Radio.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, accidents still a pretty big problem. 270 southbound now. We've got 2 left lanes blocked after 70 with a crash. That backup starts at St. Charles Rock Road. Now we can see it from the jam cam at 70. The accident on 270 northbound before 44. That one has cleared, although you still have delays back to Tesson Ferry. And the accident with the biggest delay is on 6440 eastbound, stop and go all the way from Boone's Crossing to before 270. We've got delays on 55 southbound, 64 to the 5544 underpass as well. And traffic is sponsored by the T.J. Martell Foundation. The T.J. Martell Foundation, music's promise for a cure. To learn more, visit tjmartell.org. That's tjmartell.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
I was so excited when I got the news that Tammy Mitchell-Hines and Company was going to be a brand new supporter of Allman in the Morning here on The Answer. And the reason I was so excited is because, first of all, I've heard Tammy Mitchell-Hines on the air before. I've heard the commercials before on other radio shows and that kind of thing. And so the name itself was legendary. She was kind of like a celebrity to me to a certain degree. And so it was really kind of cool that I had this really great, credible name, this awesome name attached to my show. It was humbling, and it is a privilege to have Tammy Mitchell-Hines and Company partnering with me on this endeavor with The Answer. But more importantly, I'm hoping that you will partner with her and her people to get your home sold or to buy a home. And the reality is she is selling a house every 30 hours in the Metro East, and she's licensed in Illinois only, servicing Monroe and St. Clair and Madison counties in Illinois. She's the #1 independent real estate office in southwestern Illinois. So she's an independent office. She's not attached to anybody but her company, her people, and the name Tammy Mitchell-Hines. And, of course, I appreciate her also sponsoring our hotline here, calltammy.com real estate listener line. It's 844-855-1380, by the way. So she's going full bore in support of the show, and meeting her was a real privilege because you could really see and sense the energy. And that's just us talking about radio. Imagine her tasked with selling your home or buying your home, or her agents. And it's interesting because when I first did one of these for her, where I talked about her, I called it the Tammy Mitchell-Hines Agency. And she reminded me, gently, of course, because she's a sweetheart, and she said, by the way, it's Tammy Mitchell-Hines and Company. And that's an important emblem of how she operates her office. The people she's working for are her equals, and she takes such good care of her people. So it doesn't matter whether you have one person or the next who happens to be employed by Tammy Mitchell-Hines. They're all cut from the same cloth. They're all well taken care of, and they're all experts in the field of real estate. So you can count on Tammy Mitchell-Hines and Company getting your home sold or getting you into a home, your dream home that you want. I encourage you to go to calltammy.com. At calltammy.com, it's Tammy Mitchell-Hines and Company.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245. Or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Hey, it's Allman from Allman in the Morning. I want to tell you about the quality customized service you will receive when you call my friend Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He's also the top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Those are beautiful. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. So cut down on the risk of error. Schedule your appointment today with Michael Proctor. Proctor spelled like doctor, proctordrapery.com.
Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
All right, folks, you want to talk to Henry Davis? Why don't you go ahead and phone us at the calltammy.com real estate listener line, 844-855-1380, and you can have a chat. We'll take all comers. And by the way, Henry, you might not believe this because there are some people who believe this is just a thing with a certain community or whatever, you know. But I have a suspended license story too, you know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I have a suspended license story too that I can impart on you.
Really?
And it's a kind of a broader story because you know this is sometimes it's such people just have such bad luck.
Oh man, you just wow.
But this didn't turn really necessarily into a bad thing for you.
It turned out better.
Yeah. So now I don't want.
It turned out better, Blair.
I know. Well, that's because you have that attitude and you have that you're going to make it better.
Yeah.
Viewpoint.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about it is that there was no way this was going to be a fail, which is why you wrote your book and why you are who you are, because you don't take no for an answer.
No, sir.
And that's just the kind of people we love here at Common Sense Nation. Allman in the Morning. We'll be back with Henry and your phone calls in just a tad.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. It is heartbreaking, the death and destruction wrought by the weekend tornadoes that devastated the small town of Beauregard, Alabama. At last word, the death toll stood at 23, with 3 children among the victims, dozens of people still unaccounted for. President Trump is slamming the Democrats' expanding Russia probe, even as he promises to cooperate. Also, Attorney General William Barr insisting he will not step aside from overseeing the special counsel's investigation. Doctors say a London man is only the second person to show that he's free of the AIDS virus following a stem cell transplant. A Senate panel today will be taking a closer look at the outbreak of preventable diseases such as measles. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow opening down about 19 points. The S&P is up a fraction. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
One accident still with us. That's the one on 270 southbound after 70. 2 left lanes blocked with that crash. The backup starts at 370. We can see the accident from the jam cam at 270. 270 northbound, 55 to Big Bend. Still a delay there. 44 eastbound slows Elm to Laclede Station. And we've got some delays on 6440 eastbound. Clayton Warson to Big Bend backed up westbound Hampton to Laclede Station. 70 eastbound, that slows Blanchette Bridge to St. Charles Rock, and the westbound direction, Bircher to Lucas and Hunt Type. Traffic is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's easier to change the world than you think. Sponsor a child in extreme poverty with Compassion International, and you will change the world for that child. Just text the word child to 83393 to sponsor right now.
I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
1380, The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Dennis Prager explains what we're up against.
Within days, we reported on this show that it was very suspect, this whole report.
Beaten with a noose around his neck and hospitalized.
They're going to announce that he is an abomination. They lie because they don't even care about the truth.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekday mornings at 11 on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Breaking news. Stimulating talk.
Imagine doing one thing that gives you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. Think it would be worth it? Dennis Prager here inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand with Israel tour, a tour through the land of Israel in December 2019. Come with me to get first-hand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. Walk the ancient temple steps, sail on the Sea of Galilee, and so many more unforgettable moments. Return home inspired, renewed, and empowered. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Israel, this is your opportunity. With expert guides and important lectures at key sites, we'll be together in the comfort and safety of luxurious accommodations the whole time. Join me for a life-changing adventure to give you a renewed sense of purpose.
Join Dennis Prager and Mike Gallagher for an unforgettable guided tour through Israel this December 2nd through 11th. Book your trip now at theanswerstl.com.
While cleaning out the attic, I ran across my father's classic Winchester rifle. Wanted to give it to my son for his birthday, but I didn't know what it needed in order to be restored. So I took it to Razorback Armory for a cleaning and performance check. What a great birthday present it was. My son uses it and will pass it on to my grandson someday. I know that would make my father happy if you were here today. Restore your guns to the condition they deserve. Visit the pros at Razorback Armory in De Pere, just east of 270 on Manchester. RazorbackArmory.com.
People saying to me, Smash, you rock and rolled us here in St. Louis all these years, and now you're back on the radio playing Jesus music? What happened to you? Same thing that happened to Tom Jones. I mean, for him, it's not unusual nowadays to be digging on Jesus music.
I'm going down to the church house.
Yeah, that's Tom Jones, and just like him, we're going to get down too every Sunday, 11 a.m. for the People's Praise Party, where the word is in the music. And it's right here on 1380 AM and 105.3 FM, The Answer.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Branch off. But I ain't scared.
The call, Tammy.com real estate listener line is open, 844-855-1380. On here with Henry Davis. We've got more stories to tell, that's for sure. But I want to thank Josie for holding on. Josie, welcome to the show.
Jamie?
Hi, how are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, Jamie. We have missed you forever and a day. It's not the same. It's not been the same without you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's very humbling and sweet of you to say, and I'm so glad we're back together again.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy. I don't even know how to express it. What's that expression? You can't keep a good man down?
Right on. Yeah.
That's you. So
well,
we're really,
really
happy for you. Glad you're back. And, you know, Channel 30 has just not been the same since they took you off. I'm like, unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable. So I just wanted to say congratulations.
Josie, thank you so much. It was so sweet of you and generous of you to call and support me in this way. And I know you've been thinking about me, I'm sure. So listen, I didn't want to let you down. And Salem Media didn't want to let you down, so we all came together and made sure I was back on the airwaves. And I so appreciate your support.
Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you too, Josie. Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's it's pretty amazing, that we were able to get back in action and
pretty cool,
ready to rock and roll. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was gonna try to tell Josie this as well, but the reality is, for the 9 months I was out, I was doing the Facebook and the stream. And then, but a lot of people still, not everybody is doing the Facebook, not everybody's doing stream. And so once you're on a radio dial, it just ups the game a little bit. And that's great, And the fact of the matter is, too, she talked about the TV show.
Yeah.
And it's
Street Beat, baby.
I'm telling you, and Henry Davis was part of the Street Beat on the TV show. And we had some really outstanding ratings. And we were competing with these other stations. And keep in mind, though, that nowadays, because I was just hearing about this, the radios, this is sweeps period. February was a sweeps month. And so these guys all have ratings and they fight over 1.2, 2.2s, 1.8s.
Yeah.
When I was in, and we were grabbing some of that when I was on Channel 30.
Man, you was killing it, Jay.
Because it was an alternative TV news show.
You was killing it, player.
But back when I was at Channel 4, we were fighting over 18s and 20s and 22s and things like that. And times have changed because not as many people are watching TV news. And so the demand to have a quality show is different now because you're competing for a smaller slice of the pie. And Josie, I guess, was one of those folks who enjoyed both the radio as well as the TV, and someday I think we'll be able to come back on. We'll pull it back together somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then the Street Beat will come back as well with it.
Man, I'm telling you, boy, look here, the Street Beat just took me to a whole nother level. I mean, it felt good to walk into a beauty salon or a Chinaman and a Chinese food place, and people say, "What's up, Henry, man? I see you on the news, baby." I'm like, "That's what's up, baby." You gonna take a picture? I was taking pictures and autograph, man. I look, that really did something for me. But you want me to finish my flashback?
Yeah, I do, please.
What you want me to do?
I want to know how
it
the
turned
license suspension story turned into something positive.
Well, right before I was about to be handcuffed, because I told you I was pitching. I was a hissy fit, and I was doing my SpongeBob crying and stuff. And right before I was about to be put in handcuffs,
so they were going to put you in handcuffs
because I was making a scene. I had on a Donald Trump hat. I had a Go Trump or Cry T-shirt in my hand. I was dressed in a suit, clowning on I think it was 14th Street or whatever the street is.
That's 14th.
Yeah, clowning. I'm talking about clowning. I'm loud and I'm like, y'all better let me in. And no justice, no peace. So they came out. So my phone rang, and I didn't recognize the number. I'm like, oh, okay, who is this? Yeah, I answered the phone. Yeah, so he said, Henry, this is oh my God, Lavelle, Bruce. This is Bruce Lavelle. Bruce Lavelle. I'm like, who? Who the hell is Bruce Lavelle? He said, man, this Bruce Lavelle. I talked to you the other day about Laura Ingraham. I said, oh, what's up? What's going on, Bruce? What the hell you want? He said, where you at, man? I said, man, I'm outside the gate. He said, you outside the gate? I said, man, they won't let me in, man. He said, why? I said, because they talking about my license is messed up or something. He said, well, don't worry about it. You want to go on Laura Ingraham tonight? I said, wait a minute, what? He said, you want to go on Laura Ingram's show live in the studio tonight? I said, the Laura Ingraham?
Yeah.
I'm talking about pretty Laura Ingraham, the blonde Laura Ingraham, Fox News, 4 million people gonna see me tonight. He said, yeah, you want to go on Laura Ingraham, yes or no? I said, you daggone Skippy, I want to go. Baby, I did the Flair Fristo. I jumped up and down. I was like, yes, Lord, thank you, Jesus. It's gonna work out. So about an hour and a half later, I was in a limousine with my buddy Gary Glardon, and we were headed to Fox News studio. Sat down with
Fox News got the limousine for you?
Well, it wasn't really a limousine. It was
it was car service.
It was car service, but it was a limousine to me.
Yeah, of course it is.
You know, you riding like that.
That's a limousine.
Big suburban, luxury TV,
Right.
flat screen TVs, and you ain't on in the
bulletproof.
Hood. Oh yeah, it was. I thought I was in the motorcade for a minute. So we went in, man. We did the show with Laura Ingraham, and she said that she wanted one of my T-shirts. I had my T-shirt on. I took the casket clean off. I said I wasn't going. I didn't want to have no more.
You did
remnants.
a great job on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I didn't want to have no more remnants of that suit. I don't even want to put it on.
Did she
no
know
more.
anything about what happened to you?
Yeah, we told her.
Okay.
Yeah, we told her. We had to tell her because she was going to ask us about it. But I said, no, we told her before the show and all that. So they didn't even really mention it or nothing. They
I didn't think so.
They just went about talking about the conservative urban project, what I got going on in the hood. And we talked a lot about Jussie Smollett.
Yeah,
Lord, that clown. We talked about him and his endeavors. And so had I gotten into the actual White House, I would have probably had maybe a 30% chance of actually, meeting him.
Sure.
And all of that because, he didn't do no photo shoots or nothing like that. He just waved and went on back there. It's just a few people that was up on stage were the ones that was with him. So I probably wouldn't have gotten to meet him. But if I had gone in there, I wouldn't have been able to go on the Laura Ingraham show.
You wouldn't have gotten the call. You wouldn't have had your phone on. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to do that. And so it turned out great. 4 million people saw, and she's still running the segment, bits from the segment. And I get a call from the producer, an email just talking about, Henry, you need your own show. I'm like, well, hook it up. Hook it up. And so I got the address the other day to mail her a T-shirt. I'm going to mail Laura a T-shirt. And
did you tell her I said hello?
No.
Why not?
Because I was flabbergasted about the fact that I couldn't get in. I ain't gonna lie to you, Jay Money. I couldn't get in the White House.
Right.
And I didn't say that you. This is what I did do. I said that you're from I said that you have some ties with St. Louis on 97.1.
Yeah.
I did say that.
I used to fill in for her.
But
when
I didn't say.
that.
I didn't. I honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't say Jamie Allman. I was just glad that it wasn't a failure, and that I wasn't gonna be the laughing stock of the world.
Yeah.
The only brother out of 150 black people that license was suspended.
Unbelievable, man.
That's how it worked out. But it worked out great.
I'll get to my license suspension story in a second because I want to also get an update on your project as well. Let me get to John on line 1 though. John, thanks for calling the Allman in the Morning Show. How you doing, buddy?
Hi. Yeah, hi, Jamie. Great. I'm doing fine. We're real glad to hear you back on the air. We had Michael Proctor spell like doctor at our house yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Measuring for some blind. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
And he said you're on the radio again. We said great. What's this? The call letters and so on and so forth. So
nice.
So we're back, and we're congratulating you for being back on the air and hanging tough there.
John, thank you so much. So not only are you supporting the show, but you're also supporting the people who support the show. So that's cool. Michael's a pretty good guy, and he's just what I said he was. He's an entertaining individual, isn't he?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. He's terrific. Yeah. But what would normally take 15 minutes, we were talking, it probably took an hour. Shoot the breeze about everything.
I know. I know. Yep. Birds of a feather, right?
But it was enjoyable,
Yeah. Well, John, thank you so much for being part of it and for calling in, taking the time out. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, that's John calling in. Michael Proctor. Proctor spelled like doctor.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Yeah, man, he's fun. And by the way, he said 15 minutes takes an hour. Michael will give you all the time you want or all the no time you want. If you want to just talk to him for 10 minutes, he's fine with that too. He's not going to take too much of your time. Anyway, let me tell you this story real quickly because a lot of people think. I've told this story before.
Oh, really?
Because a lot of people think that this stuff only happens to black people. You know what I mean?
Oh, it happens to white people too?
Well, here's...
lay it on real thick.
So one time, I used to, a long time, it was like in the early 90s, it was like 1996 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And going to Florida, and I always figured that when I had a car, but my car had a lot of miles on it. So, and taking the family to Florida, I would usually rent a car.
Yeah,
like I'd rent a SUV or something like that to drive to Florida.
Uh-huh.
It was cheaper than flying a bunch of people and everything else. So I would go to the airport to rent a car.
Here we go.
So I had my wife drop me off at the place to get the car, and I would drive it back home, and we'd pack it up and go. So I went, and I didn't have my driver's license with me
to rent a car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I don't know why I didn't have it with me. I forgot it or did something, but that's kind of something I would do. So I make all that trip to go there and then not have my license.
Well,
so I had to go over to the airport police. To get a copy of my license, like to get confirmation.
No fear in
license.
that.
Yeah. So I'm seriously, I was not concerned. I mean,
exactly.
I was just going to go over there and get my
Jamie
license.
Allman, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I was at Channel 4.
That's
then,
what I'm saying. You Jay Money.
So I go over to the police. It's just right down the hall, and then
them people. We call them people. You went over to them people.
Yeah, and they started running my license, and then. Next thing I know, one of these dudes comes out from behind the glass partition there, because there's like a bank teller window almost. Comes out and says, "Can you come back here for a second, please?" I thought maybe they're going to give me the printout or something. And the dude said, "You're under arrest."
For what?
I had an outstanding warrant for my arrest from U City. For parking tickets.
For parking? No, you kidding, man.
And it's not just, it wasn't parking tickets. It was one parking ticket.
Oh, you had one ticket?
I had one ticket.
You go to rent a car.
It was a one ticket, $25. So they take me, and then I have to take my belt off.
Oh, yeah.
And my shoes off.
Your shoestrings.
And they put me into a cell.
At the airport?
At the airport.
Are you serious?
Because U City wanted to come get me. So I had to sit in this cell.
Oh, my God.
It was like 2 hours. And the U City police came to get me, picked me up in front of the airport. They handcuffed me and marched me through the airport in handcuffs.
What, did you see? Did you have your shoes on?
Perp walk.
Yeah,
perp walk.
They marched me through the airport in handcuffs, dude,
Jamie
and put
Allman.
me into the car outside, right in front of the little pickup section,
terminal
of the terminal, and put me into the car in handcuffs
for a $25 ticket,
and they drove me through. I wasn't expecting any special treatment, but I certainly wasn't expecting that. Like, everybody looked at me like I was some kind of drug dealer or something,
Did you have your suit on?
Have you ever seen anybody walking through the airport in handcuffs?
No, but did you have your suit on?
No, I just had regular clothes on.
Okay.
But they walked me through the handcuffs, put me in the back of the squad car, drove me down to U City. My bond was $50.
You would have spent that at the restaurant at the airport. Huh?
They booked me everything.
Wow.
And then I was able to, all I did was pay twice what the damn ticket is, and I was gone. It was $50. It was
$50.
But they went through all that, and I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, I didn't make a scene or complain or whatever.
No, you weren't like me.
And the reality is, I didn't pay the ticket. I don't know what happened. It was a ticket I had forgotten about. It was like 3 years old.
Yeah. Well, my license is still suspended. Still suspended right now. I got a lawyer working on it. He's trying to figure it out and get it up. Cause I paid. Look, dude, I paid like about $1,300 in fines, and I thought it was all taken care of. But I knew it was suspended going, because actually 3 days before I left, I got pulled over, and the guy was like, "Hey, you Henry Davis?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" Because the police love me. I love the police. And he's like, "Oh, you Henry Davis?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's going on?" He said, "I heard you going to the White House and blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, your license is suspended." I said, for real? He's like, yeah. I said, well, I got the paper, and I did. I have the paperwork. He said, don't worry about it, man. Just take care of it when you get back. So I ain't worried about it. And sure enough. But enough about the suspended license.
I got to take a break again, and then we'll come back and get an update on your
the
project.
Conservative Urban Project Incorporated.
Get all that taken care of. And that's interesting, too, because I thought maybe they'd check your license like they do at the airport. They just look at it.
No.
And if it's not expired, everything's fine. But I didn't know they actually ran it through the
type that tick, tick,
transom.
Tick, 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 tick. They type that number and that number.
The giant computer in the sky, buddy.
The number.
Hey, calltammy.com. Real estate listener line is open, 844-855-1380. We are live here from the Arrowhead Building Supply Studios. This is Allman in the Morning, and it's Common Sense Radio.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We have picked up another accident. 364 westbound has a center lane block before River Road with a crash. And 270 southbound still messy from 370 to after 70. 2 left lanes still blocked there with an accident. We could see it from the jam cam at 70. 270 northbound Big Bend to Manchester, that delay's come way down. We do have a slight delay on 40 eastbound Clayton Worson to Big Bend and westbound Hampton to Laclede Station Road slows. 170 southbound Brentwood Boulevard to 6440. You've got a bit of a delay there. And 64 westbound 15th Street to 55. Traffic is sponsored by the T.J. Martell Foundation. The T.J. Martell Foundation, music's promise for a cure. To learn more, visit tjmartell.org. That's tjmartell.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
I am so happy to have my friends, Dr. Anna Smith and her husband, Travis, back with the Allman in the Morning show. Dentistry with TLC. I have been an avid patient of theirs, and I absolutely just love both of them. And as you know, Dr. Anna is one who is going to get you in the office within 2 business days. Most of the time, she'll even get you in the same day that you call. And if she can't offer you an appointment, she'll put $50 into your account that you can use at that time at a later time. But that's the kind of guarantee, that's the kind of full service that Dr. Anna is all about. And, of course, Travis is the guy who has the CPAP Sucks covered, where they are helping you out with sleep apnea and other issues. And so he's able to help you along those lines. If you text them at 618-466-0733. That's 618-466-0733 with your problem. You can say, I need a tooth clean, or I have a problem with a toothache, or your teeth clean. You could get one tooth cleaned if you want, but, I would recommend just getting the whole. If you're there, just get all your teeth cleaned. I'll do that. So I need my teeth cleaned, or I have a toothache and I need to see a doctor ASAP, or you can direct this towards Travis and say, my CPAP sucks. They're going to get you in, and they're going to get you in fast. It's a family-owned and operated business, and most of Dr. Smith's patients drive 45 minutes to see her. It's really easy to get there, and pretty much just a highways drive, and that's it. And she can do one appointment when most dentists require 3 or 4 different appointments to complete. So she knows your time commitment. She knows that you are making an effort to get to her. So she'll take care of all the problems that you have right there on the spot. Dentistry with TLC.com. That's Dentistry with TLC.com.
Have you tried digital marketing but don't know if it's getting you customers? Got different companies running your web design, social media marketing, and geofencing, but not sure which is working and which is a waste of your dollars? Contact us at Salem Surround, digital marketing experts who offer a free analysis of your digital marketing effectiveness and suggest methods that could dramatically increase your sales. We can put all your digital marketing under one roof, give you monthly reports on results, and instantly move your dollars to the most effective areas of your digital marketing suite. Social marketing, geofencing, web search enhancement, event targeting, and more. Now there are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround. Total market penetration for increased ROI. Learn more by logging on to surroundstl.com. SurroundSTL.com, connecting you with new customers.
KXFN St. Louis, K287BY St. Louis.
Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th. Our Glock representative and a Glock armorer will be on site to answer questions or discuss your Glock firearm needs. The first 50 Glock handguns purchased will receive a free Glock range bag during the event. Sight upgrades are available for Glocks, and with a sight purchase, it can be installed on your Glock free of charge. Stop by and take advantage of the huge savings during this event on all Glock firearms, parts, and accessories. Friday and Saturday, March 15th and 16th, Denny Dennis Sporting Goods at 1 Gravois Road in Fenton. Give them a call at 636-349-9447. 636-349-9447. Glock Days are back at Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton, Missouri, March 15th and 16th.
Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Old Town Fenton is celebrating Glock Days. Like Denny Dennis on Facebook to get in on their specials.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
His name is Donald. His name is Donald. Donald Trump. He ain't no punk. Like the former president, gonna make America great again. He's draining the swamp and building that wall for y'all. President, U.S. of A. Stop the Democrats. They hate and we elected him November 8th. There ain't nothing you can do. I said his name is Donald. Oh, Donald Trump gonna make America great again.
Woo! That is awesome, man. 56 Seconds of Beauty, sung to the tune of the Sanford and Son theme.
Very creative, isn't it?
Oh, that's great, man.
Oh, man, I got a million of them.
You rhymed President and
and punk. Like the former president, gonna make America great again.
That's good, man. That's great. I love it, buddy. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna keep that right there.
Yes, sir.
If we have, we got about a minute and a half left. So
Okay,
tell me
on.
give me an update on the
Conservative
Urban
Urban Project is focused on building lives and restoring pride and prosperity back into the urban communities here in St. Louis. We are 501c3. We are incorporated. We're looking for any sponsors, any people that are willing to volunteer to help get rid of these derelict vacant buildings in North St. Louis, pretty much the college neighborhood area. And as soon as this weather breaks, the bulldozers will show up.
Right on, because you know what? They always talk about that broken glass syndrome, you know,
Yeah.
and how that leads to more crime.
Yeah.
And you just, you fill a place with people and families and people who want to build a life, and suddenly there are a lot of problems that can be solved that way.
Yes,
so
sir.
how do we get a hold of the Conservative Urban Project?
Well, right now, we're going through some administrative things right now, but people can just reach out to me on my Facebook page at Henry Davis, or my Twitter, Henry Haha Davis, Henry Davis, Henry Haha Davis, or email me at Henry Heavy Davis, the number 42 at gmail.com. That's Henry Heavy Davis, the number 42 at gmail.com.
Look at you looking at the hard break.
Oh yeah, I'll
clock
tell you,
countdown.
I'm getting prepared.
It's like a
you
pro.
You gonna tell them the good news?
Well, eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm getting you on. I'm getting you on.
105.3 FM. The Answer. We have the answers you need.
Good job, buddy.
.com. I'm Rich Thomason. In about an hour, authorities expected to update the situation in tornado-battered Beauregard, Alabama. The small town, almost wiped off the map by last weekend's twisters, left at least 23 people dead, dozens still unaccounted for. There is a lot of debris to clean up, even as crews employing sniffer dogs and drones continue searching through mountains of rubble. And President Trump is promising federal help for victims of the severe storms that pummeled the South.
The president tweets he has personally told FEMA to give the A-plus treatment to the great state of Alabama and the wonderful people devastated by the tornadoes. He says Governor Kay Ivey's been told and that she's working closely with both FEMA and him.
That's correspondent Sagar Megani. The White House denouncing the Democrats' sweeping new investigation of President Trump as disgraceful and abusive.
In a strongly worded statement, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders blasts the House Judiciary Committee's probe into possible obstruction of justice, corruption, and abuse of power. She accuses Democrats of, quote, harassing the president to distract from their radical agenda of making America a socialist country, killing babies after they're born, and pushing a Green New Deal that would destroy jobs and bankrupt America. Sanders says their intimidation and abuse of American citizens is shameful. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A Senate panel today taking a closer look at the outbreak of preventable diseases, including measles. Among others, the committee will hear from 18-year-old Ethan Lindenberger. The Ohio teen got inoculated against the wishes of his parents. Doctors say a London man is only the second person to show that he's free of the AIDS virus following a stem cell transplant. On Wall Street, the Dow is down about 4 points. The S&P is off 2. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
A couple of accidents still causing problems out there this morning. On 270 northbound, 2 left lanes blocked before 44. Your big backup, stop and go from Tesson Ferry. We can see the accident from the jam cam north of Gravois. And 6440 eastbound is completely jammed from Boone's Crossing to before 270 with an accident there. 270 northbound slows also Big Bend to Manchester. We've got delays on 55 northbound Broadway to the Poplar Street Bridge. And still slowing on 55 southbound 64 to the 5544 underpass. Traffic is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is a new initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
1380, The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Here at The Answer St. Louis, we know you're smart, but you didn't get that way all by yourself. To aid in your never-ending quest for knowledge, we've teamed up with Regnery Publishing for the Regnery Book of the Month contest. Every month, we'll give away a different book from the hottest conservative authors. Just go to theanswerstlouis.com, click on the Answer Advantage Contests and Surveys tab, and sign up to win. Regnery Publishing. Great conservative books, great conservative authors.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Hey, it's Allman from Allman in the Morning. I want to tell you about the quality customized service you will receive when you call my friend Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He's also the top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Those are beautiful. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. So cut down on the risk of error. Schedule your appointment today with Michael Proctor. Proctor spelled like doctor, proctordrapery.com.
Imagine doing one thing that gives you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. Think it would be worth it? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand With Israel tour through the land of Israel in December of 2019. Come with me to get firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. We'll learn about the geopolitical, economic, and spiritual dynamics of one of the most fascinating places on earth. And you'll share experiences that will change how you view the world. Walk the ancient temple steps, touch the Western Wall, sail on the Sea of Galilee, pray on the Mount of Beatitudes. The list goes on. Return home inspired, renewed, and empowered. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Israel, this is your chance. Join me for a life-changing adventure to give you a renewed sense of purpose. The 10-day Stand with Israel Tour, December 2019.
Join Dennis Prager and Mike Gallagher for an unforgettable guided tour through Israel this December 2nd through 11th. Book your trip now at theanswerstl.com. He's back.
Yes, he's back.
Allman in the morning.
Don't adjust your radio.
On 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Yes, I'm back for the final hour of Allman in the morning. Call Tammy.com real estate listener line 844-855-1380. Don't forget to download that listening app. You can stream it, theanswerstl.com. And, yep, the gift that keeps on giving, and that is the Democrat Party. And these guys have now basically gone full-on crazy for the impeachment proceedings against President Trump. And, of course, it's a spectacle that I'm not quite sure I can't figure out the reasoning behind what they're doing, because anybody who has any level of intelligence or ability to observe can observe that you have to come up with policy, because all this is doing is sticking the thumb in the mouths of all the left-wing loons who need something to suck on to take away the edge from the next 2 years and quite likely the next 6 years. And so this is really just a bunch of porn for the left and for Democrats. It's not changing anybody's mind. It'll never change anybody's mind. There's no one who supports Trump right now or who is along the lines of feeling prosperous, as is every segment of this America. Blue collar, white collar, black, white, Hispanic, Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, whatever it happens to be, everybody is now taking some degree of a part in the growing economy. Wage increases, job increases. We're almost at full capacity when it comes to jobs. And the only people who can ruin it would be, I guess, the Democrats, but they don't have any ideas that will push them over the top. So when they lack ideas, and the ideas they do have are actually reversing or would reverse whatever President Trump and the administration has already gained for you. So that would be a matter of just simply no one in their right mind is going to vote to roll back their prosperity and roll back their successes they've already been experiencing here in the Trump administration, just 2 years into his administration. So the Democrats, I don't know who they're talking to other than just other Democrats. And that's not enough to defeat President Trump in 2020. It wasn't enough in 2016. I don't know whether they know the numbers here or have done the math here, but that didn't work for them in 2016. So they have to do what the Republicans managed to do, and that is expand their base, expand their people, reach out to different people who otherwise they haven't reached out to before. And there's no indication that they are wanting to do that. There's no indication they are trying to do that. They're basically just going back to their choirs. President Trump's and the Trump administration's and the Trump campaign's expertise was in redrawing the electoral map and talking to people who Republicans had not talked to before. That's how President Trump won the election. Not by just talking to other Republicans, because that's what Jeb Bush and those guys were doing. That's what people like Marco Rubio, America is already great. That was his campaign slogan. America's already great. It's like, yeah, right. Whatever. Nice response, by the way. You have anything anything original? Well, how dare President Trump say make America great again when America's already great? It's like not for a lot of people out there, especially in the working class, who have been screwed over by individuals Republican and Democrat, with their trade deals and beyond. So, again, that's how President Trump won the election. The Democrats are offering nothing but a bunch of bitching and whining about the Trump administration and these false pursuits to get them over the line. And it's not going to happen for them. So far be it from me to give Democrats advice. I'm not in that business of giving Democrats advice on how to run their operation. But I'm looking right now at a bunch of fools. I'm looking at this Gerald Nadler, who I'd never heard of until now. And now I'm looking at this Senator...
joined by Democratic Senator Chris Murphy.
Chris Murphy, who I've never heard of either. These people are all popping out of nowhere like roaches from a cupboard. I don't even know who these people are. And here's Senator Murphy, who is being interviewed on MSNBC, and Chris Hayes is desperately trying to grab whatever we can from all this. These people just don't know what else to do. What else are you going to do? You can't talk about the economy, because if you do, you talk about a successful economy. You can't talk about collusion anymore, because there isn't collusion. You can't talk about President Trump's finger on the button, because President Trump is about to disarm North Korea. You can't talk about Trump being a bigot, because you've got one of your premier starlets on the cover of the Rolling Stone who's an anti-Semite, one of Nancy Pelosi's minions. You can't talk about racism, Trump being racist, because the only people actually committing crimes against blacks seem to be blacks. Jesse Smollett, there you go. So what else are you going to do? Well, if you're Senator Chris Murphy, you're going to go on Chris Hayes' show and fantasize about impeachment and bring up Richard Nixon, and that'll do the trick. That'll do it for you.
And a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, I've already seen colleagues of yours, including Chris Van Hollen, expressing their shock and dismay about the reports about the president lobbying his administration to file suit to block that merger. What's your reaction to it?
Well, I think, as you correctly pointed out, this is a long line in abuses. The fact of the matter is, it may be that merger was worthy of a high level of scrutiny, whether or not it was because of the malevolent motives of the president. But it's just more and more proof that the president is out of control. Listen, you've got a couple different avenues here. I think you properly identified impeachment as a means by which you can try to control a president who has gone far afield of ethical norms. But you can also take powers away from him that were granted to him through the legislative process. Approval of mergers would be one of them. You could put more boundaries around the president's ability to influence that decision. Right now in the Foreign Relations Committee, we're talking about sanctioning Saudi Arabia because the president has refused to do that, has violated the law, and not given us a report on the culpability of the Saudi regime that he's...
And sanctioning Saudi Arabia wouldn't hurt the president at all. It would just be these guys sanctioning Saudi Arabia.
Required to do. And so Congress can also take steps to just handcuff the president, to take powers away from him, to do more ourselves if we...
Yeah. Well, we can't wait till the time that Congress can do more yourselves. Because we've watched you do more yourselves for the past 25 years, and you ruin this economy, you ruin this country. And Republicans, you're still funding Planned Parenthood and sanctuary cities. So we don't want Congress to do more of themselves. I, of course, want a presidential power situation. I don't want the president to be all powerful. I understand the balance of power. But for Congress to sit there and say, we know better, and having been on the record and convicted ineptitudes, that's not going to push us over the line here. There's no way. So that's what we're getting from the Democrat Party. I don't even know. These guys are clearly just beside themselves. They just don't know what to do. The president's out of control. It's like, ask the guy working at Boeing. Ask the guy working in the steel industry. Ask the guy working in the coal industry. Ask Texas, which now is the number 3 oil producer in the world. It's not the United States. It's Texas. Ask the people down there who are making $75,000 a year working on the platforms, working on oil drilling operations down there. In fact, if you, this is a story that really wasn't covered all that much by the mainstream media, but I saw it at one point in the Washington Post or somewhere along the line. I think they covered the story at least a little bit. And so this was a story about people who are traveling and going down to Texas and staying in these oil camps. It's the craziest thing. It's almost like the gold rush. You know, these guys are all down there, and they live in these cottages that are set up. I mean, it's not the best of lives for these people, but they're making money because they're leaving their families for weeks on end, going down and making 60, 70 grand a year working in the oil business down there. Ask them whether the president's out of control. Ask the people who Henry Davis oftentimes talks about, the black community, members of the black community, say they finally can get jobs now. Ask whether or not the president's out of control. Ask them. Ask the blue-collar worker who is seeing his wages increase at a faster rate than the white-collar worker. Ask them whether the president's out of control. And so some goofball who I've never heard of babbling on MSNBC isn't going to be a concern, although I'm playing it for you because you ought to, know who your enemy is. But these people aren't going to make any headway. So really what needs to happen is that President Trump's supporters and Americans who, I guarantee you there are a lot of Americans who are benefiting from the Trump economy who didn't vote for him. That's why it's going to be trouble for the Democratic Party come 2020. These people who didn't vote for him, who are now making a little extra jack here and there, and who are being able to expand their businesses into all that kind of stuff, they're happy, and they're not going to vote for some goofball who promotes the erasing of airplane travel or flying planes using biofuels. And again, nothing against biofuels. Some of my best friends are biofuels. But I'm just saying, it's not one of the things about these energy alternatives is something, it has to be marketable, it has to be efficient, it has to be easy to get to market, it has to be easy to produce. And I would love for wind or solar power to be easy to produce and easy to use. As of now, it doesn't operate or exist without some kind of government prop up or without putting out a certain segment of the economy and erasing that certain segment of the economy. So I would be more than happy if biofuels were a regular thing. I remember there was some company, Jeff Hansen was trying to get me to invest in. I forgot all about it, and I did. And they're still a great company. They do biofuels, but you can't power a commercial airline industry with biofuels right now. It doesn't work that way. It can't. And you all remember Solyndra when they wanted to do the whole solar power thing, and Solyndra couldn't exist without old Bozo giving him a ton of money. It was run by his buddies. So they can't exist that way. Right now, you let's face it, digging stuff out of the ground, drilling stuff out of the ground, refining it, and squirting it into our automobiles and planes and trains, that's working. That's easy. That's efficient. That's cheap. And these people are talking about alternative forms of energy when we're oil independent now, and when also we're looking at gasoline prices that are the lowest they've been in a long time. It's like, and people are going, oh yeah, then let's change now. It's the worst timing possible to bring up the idea of switching over to solar power or wind power or whatever. It's the worst possible time. They're creating emergencies and trouble where there is none. They've already created collusion where there is none. They've created racism where there is none. They've created homophobism where there is none. They've created anti-Semitism where there is one, except in their own party. And now they're trying to create this whole new era where we're going to all be off in 12 years if we don't erase airplanes. And we're going to check out whether or not President Trump wrote a check to somebody he shouldn't have written a check to. Good luck with all that. Call the Tammy.com real estate listener line, folks, 844-855-1380. This is Allman in the Morning, and this is Common Sense Radio.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
What's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. And no medical exams required for policies covering under $1 million. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Let's do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, pediatric dentistry, or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245. Or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money.
Blood from our veins and stuck it into the red ink in the Marvel comic.
That's Geek to Me Radio, brought to you by Marcus Theaters. Get tickets now at marcustheaters.com.
Attention gun enthusiasts. Interested in purchasing a suppressor, but worried the new gun laws might make it a tough process? Razorback Armory in Des Peres is your home for the new Silencer Shop kiosk system. No need to go to several locations to prepare for your application, photo submissions, and fingerprint cards. Still have questions? Razorback Armory has answers. Visit the pros at Razorback Armory in Des Peres, just east of 270 on Manchester. RazorbackArmory.com.
Smash here, St. Louis, Sundays, 11 a.m. till noon, right here on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer. I'll be bringing you the People's Praise Party. Smash playing Jesus music? Yeah. You talking that stuff too, Smash? Yeah. It's all called testimony. Sundays, 11 till noon as you're heading to your church's late service, or as you're coming out of early service and heading on over to Cracker Barrel. It's the People's Praise Party, your Sunday morning smash at your service. Here on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Are you looking for your dream home, but it doesn't seem to exist? You've tried to figure it out on your own, but don't know what step to take next? Don't worry. I'm Tammy, owner of Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company, and my team and I are ready to help ease that stress. My team serves Monroe, St. Clair, and Madison counties in Illinois. So go to calltammy.com to set up your stress-free appointment today. Give me an idea of what you're looking for, and we will do the rest. If you buy or sell a house with me, you can use my moving truck for free. Just go to calltammy.com.
Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Good morning this morning. It's Allman in the Morning, Common Sense Radio. That's cool that Tammy Mitchell Hines has moving trucks. Call Tammy.com. Listener lines open, 844-855-1380. Call Tammy.com. Real estate listener line, as we like to say. You know, it's interesting, though. She came up with the moving truck thing, and then everybody stole it from her. So she was Well, why not? I mean, it's a great idea. I mean, there are many. I never heard of that until Tammy mentioned it to me when we were meeting, and I was like, that's a great idea. But that's the kind of passion you get from Tammy Mitchell Hines and company, because it's all over the place in that office there in beautiful Columbia and serving the Metro East. And it's a great operation, and really pleased and proud to have Tammy Mitchell Hines and company supporting the Allman in the Morning show. Now, by the way, I was mentioning all the things that the Democrats have claimed is there, but then they have their own problems in their own fields. You realize that they were at one point talking about campaign finance violations, right? President Trump has campaign finance violations. We're going to impeach him over that. Suddenly, oh, wait, your golden girl, Ocasio-Cortez, they're now investigating her campaign for slushing out $1 million in cash. So, well, there you go. Kind of took you out of that ball game, didn't it now? Your little campaign finance Trump is corrupt deal. Because now you got one of your own. In fact, not only one of your own, one of your other Rolling Stone featurettes in trouble. It's interesting. Out of the you have Nancy Pelosi, you have this Tlaib character, you have Ilhan Omar and Ocasio-Cortez, and 2 out of the 4 of them are, one of them's facing possible charges or calls to have her resign. The other one is now mired in a campaign finance investigation, literally involving $1 million. And the other one, this Tlaib woman or whatever her name is, she's the one who's calling everybody a racist and doing all that kind of stuff. It's like, could you have picked, what are you, is it the Three Stooges all over again? I'm sorry, the Three Stoogettes. I mean, and how is it possible to make Nancy Pelosi look like Thomas Jefferson when you got 3 of these windbags out there with her, and they're all experiencing their own little tiny levels of personal corruption? It's unbelievable. And I guarantee you, those 3 with Nancy Pelosi, if 2 of them are reelected in 2020, it'll be a miracle. Because I guarantee you, after Ocasio-Cortez blew out the Amazon deal, or helped blow it out, I mean, there were questions about it, certainly, but after she rode those guys out on a rail, and now she's got her campaign finance issues, and quite possibly one of the dumbest ideas ever in this Green New Deal, and her campaign against beef eating while her chief of staff is downing a hamburger. There's only going to be a limited amount of patience for that kind of hackery in Congress, I got to tell you. So keep an eye on the Three Stoogettes and their queen, Nancy, who just appeared on the cover of the Rolling Stone and who now are world famous, because I have a feeling they're going to be a little more famous than they bargained for. Talked earlier with Ola Hawatma, a friend of mine who by now is in D.C., She's vice president of the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition. They're calling for Omar to resign. So there's trouble up there in D.C. for the Democrats, and things are looking pretty sunny for you-know-who. It's all in the morning. It's Common Sense Radio.
Boll and Branch Doc.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. 3 children among the 23 people killed by the tornadoes that leveled the small town of Beauregard, Alabama last Sunday. Dozens of people still unaccounted for. Search crews continue combing through piles of rubble looking for survivors. President Trump slamming the Democrats' expanding Russia probe, saying it amounts to presidential harassment. Well, we know of at least one Democrat who does not plan to run for president next year. Hillary Clinton telling New York's News 12 that she will not seek her party's presidential nomination in 2020. Sacramento police say last night's protest over the shooting of an unarmed black man by police ended with at least 80 arrests. On Wall Street this morning, stocks in the red. The Dow is down about 44 points. The S&P is off 4. The Nasdaq down 7 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
One accident still with us. That's the one on 270 southbound after 70. 2 left lanes blocked with that crash. The backup starts at 370. We can see the accident from the jam cam at 270. 270 northbound, 55 to Big Bend. Still a delay there. 44 eastbound slows Elm to Laclede Station. And we've got some delays on 6440 eastbound. Clayton Warson to Big Bend backed up westbound Hampton to Laclede Station. 70 eastbound, that slows Blanchette Bridge to St. Charles Rock, and the westbound direction, Bircher to Lucas and Hunt Type. Traffic is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's easier to change the world than you think. Sponsor a child in extreme poverty with Compassion International, and you will change the world for that child. Just text the word child to 83393 to sponsor right now.
I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
1380, The Answer. Weather.
We'll have mostly sunny skies today. It'll be brisk and quite cold with a high of 28. We'll have a starry night tonight. It'll be bitterly cold with a low of 13. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 37. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, the low 28. Cloudy and cold Thursday with a touch of snow and rain at times with little or no accumulation expected. Thursday's high 40. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Joe Walsh says Michael Cohen doesn't matter.
I don't think really anything Michael Cohen said really matters. I think what matters is what Robert Mueller is going to say. It was the airing of a bunch of dirty laundry. None of that matters to me. It was good stuff, good theater, but it doesn't matter. What matters is what Mueller has.
The Joe Walsh Radio Program. Weeknights at 8 on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Breaking news. Stimulating talk.
Imagine doing one thing that gives you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. Think it would be worth it? Dennis Prager here inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand with Israel tour, a tour through the land of Israel in December 2019. Come with me to get firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. Walk the ancient temple steps, sail on the Sea of Galilee, and so many more unforgettable moments. Return home inspired, renewed, and empowered. If you've ever dreamed of seeing Israel, this is your opportunity. With expert guides and important lectures at key sites, we'll be together in the comfort and safety of luxurious accommodations the whole time. Join me for a life-changing adventure to give you a renewed sense of purpose.
Join Dennis Prager and Mike Gallagher for an unforgettable guided tour through Israel this December 2nd through 11th. Book your trip now at theanswerstl.com.
I regularly hear stories of companies cutting the commissions of their outside salespeople. Has that happened to you? Or maybe you've had accounts taken from you and given to another salesperson to level the playing field. I've never understood those who penalize top sellers when they've become too successful. If you're a good salesperson, especially if you're in media sales, then I want to talk to you. I'm Lori Vernier, local sales manager for Salem STL Radio. I believe in the work I'm doing, but more importantly, this company believes in its people. Last year, Salem Media Group, our parent company, was voted one of the national best and brightest companies to work for. And for the past 2 years, we were voted a great place to work by our employees. If you'd like to join my sales team, drop me an email at jobs@salemstl.com. That's jobs@salemstl.com.
The station is owned and operated by Salem Media Group and is an equal opportunity employer.
Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
TheCallTammy.com real estate listener line is open right now, 844-855-1380. Just so happens Brian is on the line number one. Brian, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for calling the show, man.
Hey, lazy bon to relay.
Yes, sir.
I want to let you know I cut my teeth on Al Hurt's Cotton Candy album.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Al
Mom
Hurt.
had that one back.
Man, I love it. I think I have this Al Hurt Dixieland Jazz box set, and then I think, what is the one with the not cookies and cream? It was the woman with the whipped cream and other delights or whatever. Is it the Al Hurt with the chick with the whipped cream all over her?
Yeah, they did some of those.
Yeah,
that might have been in Java or something. I don't know, but the one with Cotton Candy, he's got his trumpet with Cotton Candy and the trumpet.
Oh man, he was something else, Al Hurt. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Hey, it's like old time day coming back here with Ola and Henry Davis.
Oh yeah, I know, man.
And that reminded me, Peggy called. I think her name was Peggy, called about the show. The Allman Report show.
Josie, yeah.
And I just can't see how you lost the show when they still have a guy. I guess he's still on there because I get some of these synchronicities where I'm in the right place at the right time, and I just happen to flip it over to that Missouri politics show.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
And here he's talking back like October, whenever the state fair was. Scott Fawn's talking to his good buddy, the new governor, and his wife.
Right.
And it's like right there is evidence of that coup against Greitens. It's like how did that? Who organized the $100,000 to go to Watkins' office? And here he's talking to his good buddy, and they're saying how long they've been friends.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and he's still on KDNL.
I know.
Like,
yeah, I should have committed fraud and written bad checks and gotten 2 DWIs. That might have secured my spot at KDNL.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
But
it's like
try Channel 11. Try Channel 11 when you get a chance.
No, I know. We're gonna come.
So much, man. There's so much that I have wanted to say, and I have had no outlet, like you said, and because I'm not on Facebook, and I've got offline for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
In like 2015, and I started listening to more radio, and you were the one that turned me on to talk radio.
Nice.
And you said it on your show, and you had it, and Denise and everybody was there, Katie Bailey and everybody.
Yeah.
I remember them all, but it was a great show.
Yeah.
And that's like so much stuff that I wanted to say earlier in the show when it started, and then your show progressed. I hate to ruin the flow of your show.
That's okay, man. No, I appreciate you calling. It's good to hear from you, and I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you're back, and I'm glad to hear also that you have a lot to say. You really hadn't had an outlet to say it, and you're welcome here anytime to say it, brother.
Yeah.
All right,
Trump, the man that was talking at CPAC. That's the man that came here to St. Louis to see us.
Yeah, right
on. Hillaroyd, she came to see her donors. You know what I mean? She didn't come here to see anybody.
I know.
But earlier you was asking somebody to call in about Luke Perry and preventing a stroke. Well, I'll tell you what I do, and I picked it up. You take a 81 milligram baby aspirin daily.
Oh.
And you carry a 325 milligram or a 5-grain aspirin or an uncoated one, wrap it up in a piece of aluminum foil and stick it in your watch pocket and hope that somebody finds it if something. And if you feel like something's coming on, strokes I guess are weird. I mean, I think I saved my sister. She had a TIA. My brother-in-law called down here and said that something's wrong with her, and I said, give her an aspirin. But what you do with that uncoated aspirin, you stick it under your tongue, is what I hear.
Right. Well, all this time I thought it was. Yeah. All this time I thought it was Hendrick's gin. I guess not. I missed that boat. All right, buddy. Brian, thanks for calling the show. I really appreciate you. Call Tammy.com. Real estate listener line is 844-855-1380. And yeah, I was trying to find somebody who would call in the medical field, because a lot of people, if you're in your 50s and you're watching and you see what happened to Luke Perry, it's like kind of freaking you out, because you're thinking, I'm next. That's kind of how you are when you're watching TV and you're in your 50s and you see this kind of stuff. You're like, what can I do to prevent this? So if anybody has any tips, that'd be perfect. By the way, I'm looking at. I still can't figure out this Ian Frobe guy over at St. Louis, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, STL Today. He's got a list of the top 100 St. Louis restaurants, and I'm thinking to myself. Are there more than 100 St. Louis restaurants? Because I'm sure there are, basically, but the top 100, that's a lot of restaurants. In fact, I would just do the top 10 because if you're the 100th, that's a bummer. Like if I were the 100th restaurant, I don't know what it is. I wouldn't mention them on the air anyway. But if I were like the 99th or 100th restaurant, I'd be like, thanks, Ian. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you might as well just do the top 10 and leave it alone because the people who are down in the last 10 are probably not happy with you. I'd rather just not mention them. I have eaten at this number one restaurant before, Vicia, Vicia. It's all a lot of plant-based dinners and foods. It's pretty good. No.
Hey, where are we going for dinner? Well, it's the 85th best place in St. Louis, baby.
Yeah, right, exactly.
What you talking about?
Yeah, the 98th. We're the 98th best restaurant in St. Louis, as identified by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I'm sure. Will they hang that in their foyer? We're the 100th best restaurant in St. Louis. By the way, I'm gonna go look at it. I guess when you go to, let's see, hold on, I'm trying to figure it out now. Darn iPad. The rest of the best. Oh, and I guess it's the rest of the best. It's a 25, and the rest of the. You got to sign. I'm not paying them 99 cents to look at that stuff. I'm not. They always do that. I love it when they do things. I like some third-rate homicide. They want you to subscribe to their newspaper to read about some homicide on Wabada. It's like, I'm not going to pay 99 cents to read about some homicide on Wabada. My favorite ones are the ones where they're actually giving people advice that could actually save their lives. Like I remember one, it was really kind of serious. It was this domestic battery, and this woman had an order of protection and all this kind of stuff. And it was kind of like a story about how you can protect yourself. And I was interested in it because, restraining, I was just, looking at it, and I clicked on it, and I had to pay 99 cents to find out how I could survive a bad boyfriend. That'll be 99 cents, please, before we tell you how to stay alive. That's like one of the news stations when they say, coming up at 10, we'll show you something that could kill you. It's like, no, I want to know now. Don't tell me at 10. Tell me now. Brian talked about this Scott Fawn deal. I love riding him like a rented mule. I saw him down in the lobby earlier. I just drive right by him because
I saw him on the big screen coming back from the bathroom because he's on the TV outside the room here.
Yeah, I know. It's always a pleasure. I saw he did it's funny because that whole thing. Brian hit on something that's really important here. I mean, because I think Fawn was like the former mayor of Poplar Bluff, and he and his wife are writing bad checks. And oh, come on, man! This is your influence peddler in Jefferson City. I don't understand that. The DUIs and it's like Then you got Henry Davis, who can't even get into the White House, hasn't been convicted of anything. And he's being almost handcuffed because of a suspended license. There's Scott Fawn on TV and hanging out with the governor. I mean, I guess it pays to be, I don't know, what you got to be like a member of the secret hayseed society to make your way down there in Jefferson City, I'll tell you. Because that place, you talk about swamp. Those guys who took out the governor and then it's funny because the people who have the committee that convened to investigate this Greitens deal, Fawn testified before that committee and had to talk about the $100,000 that he sent to the husband's attorney, the attorney for this husband who is the husband or former husband of the woman who was involved in the Greitens thing. And then suddenly he's asked about it, but they don't. Fawn says, I just had the money. And the guy who's actually the head of the committee is one of his best buddies. So he's not asked at all about any of this stuff because he's got his buddies all in the committee there. That place is, man, that is one heck of a weird place down there. I need to get back down there, wander around, see what's up. I think that in the end, I'm looking and sizing up the governor's race in 2020. That's going to be a challenge for Republicans. The grassroots in this state, they are not very happy about how all of this went down, especially with Eric Greitens. A lot of people didn't like him down there, but they didn't like him for a reason because he came down as a reformer and was going to change things up a little bit, and they did not like that. Even some Republicans who I trusted were all part of this bandwagon. They couldn't pass by a microphone without babbling into it about morality and Eric Greitens and blah, blah, blah. Actually, one of the leaders in that was Scott Fawn. He wasn't elected, but he loved to talk about morality. A convicted felon. That governor's immoral. It's like, didn't you commit check fraud? Yeah, I did, but I'm friends with the governor. I got my own TV show, Katie and Hill. I have banquets. I give everybody awards. He does. He has these stoogey banquets, and he hands out awards to all of his legislative pigeons, Republicans and Democrats. Here's your reward for doing good things for the state. Oh, man. It's fun. Normally, I have my hee-haw music running in the background. But I've decided that that's an insult to hee-haw, Because I love hee-haw so much. Why would I play hee-haw music behind a nefarious individual like that? I'm ruining hee-haw. It's still kind of funny, but, I loved hee-haw. I watched hee-haw religiously. Didn't you?
That was Zsa or Ava. Which one was that?
Oh, hee-haw?
I'm thinking of Green Acres. I'm sorry. No, hee-haw was kind of square, man, because now I grew up and I love, but the guitar players and stuff, but...
There you go. And the whole hee-haw gang! Featuring Scott Fawn! Governor Parson! Oh, man. Governor Parson's a good guy, though. He just sometimes gets wrapped up with these people who I don't think serve him really well. And that's the thing. I don't know whether Governor Parson is going to, he's a former sheriff. He's a good guy, but sometimes you just get kind of wrapped up in that kind of stuff, and man, and then the rest is history. But Governor Parson, I don't even know whether he's going to run for governor again. But I guarantee you, with the grassroots not really happy with the mainstream Republican Party, you get a mainstream conservative Democrat running. That's going to be trouble if you don't have a formidable Republican governor. That's for sure. So watch out for that. I mean, Greitens was able to beat what's-his-face, not necessarily easily, but it was a close race, Chris Koster, but Koster was probably as close to a Democrat who could win than anybody. And you bring up somebody else near him or in his mode, and you are You got a race on your hand. You know, speaking of hee-haw, here's you said you like the guitar players on there. You realize a lot of these guys who were on hee-haw, Phil, were all really amazing musicians. They were all from the Grand Ole Opry. And a lot of these people, whether it be in TV and in old TV and in old movies, the guys the only way a lot of these actors actually, it was easy money for them to do that because they were all Broadway actors. Charles Bronson was an amazing actor on Broadway. People don't really realize that because they see him in like Death Wish, stuff like that. But all the revenge movies. But Bronson was a world-class Broadway actor. But it was easy to make money doing revenge movies. Those were fun, and it was really easy money, box office hits and everything else. And I mean, people like Eddie Out, the Green Acres got all that. That was just like cakewalk. So when Hee Haw came around, you had people like Grandpa Jones, who was like the premier legendary fiddle player and a Grand Ole Opry performer, and suddenly he's on Hee Haw. Everybody's thinking, oh, that's a character they created. No, man, these guys are all from the Grand Ole Opry. I've been in there. You ever been to Nashville?
I've been to Nashville, but I've never been there. I went there. Unfortunately, when it flooded, I was there. So.
Oh, really? I went to George Jones's funeral down there, man. He had his Maxie, we went to see George Jones once, didn't we? I took the morning show crew down there, and we went to see George Jones in Arnold. He was at the Fox High School Theater, right? I mean, yeah, it was Fox High School Theater, and Maxie and Denise and who else was with us then? And we went down there, and they tricked me into believing that Becca was there. Oh, Crane was there too, huh? Yeah. They tricked me into thinking that the concert started later. So, because they didn't want, I was dragging them to the George Jones concert, and they faked like it was starting later, and I believed them. Right? Didn't you, Maxie? You guys all said, oh, yeah, let's start. And we walked in right, like practically in the middle of George Jones's concert after having about 10 margaritas.
Shirley Temples.
And we were in the balcony. We're like in some kind of balcony section there. And there was nobody under 60 at the place. So there we were. But we didn't get kicked out. It was fun. I got to take a break here, don't I? Yes, I do. CallTammy.com listener line, the CallTammy.com real estate listener line, 844-855-1380. It's Allman in the Morning.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
I love having long histories with people. It's fun to be able to go back and tell stories, isn't it? With Michael's Flooring Outlet, that's a similar thing. Mike Reynolds and I have been friends for a long time. He's been a supporter of the Allman in the Morning show for a long time, whether it be here or whether it was back at the old station. There he is, always there for me. Always there for me, not only as a supporter of Common Sense Radio, but also as a person providing me with excellent flooring and excellent installation. I'll never forget when I bought a home in 2012. I'm still living in right now, by the way. That was built in 1910. We got up there and we ripped up the carpet and we were going to polish the floors up there and get the wood floors back in order. And it turns out it was depression wood. It was just we had to pull the floors up. I had brand new wood floors in a 100-plus-year-old home. And so at that stage, we had a challenge because it had to match the downstairs floor, which was just fine. So Michael came in and with his team, and they recreated that top floor with this wood flooring, and it was just a great job. They stained it perfectly. It matched everything. But that's the kind of intricate and precise workmanship you're going to get with Michael's Flooring Outlet. And the products that he is able to impart on you are amazing. He's got this new wood flooring product. It's kind of a acrylic wood product, really. It's not real wood, but boy, it looks exactly like wood. The only thing is, it doesn't dent, it doesn't get any chiggers in it, and it also is waterproof. So when the dog wheezes on the floor, you can even have it in your kitchen, or we spill water on the floor. It doesn't have one lick of an impact on the floor. So that's one of the other products he has for you. So whether it be that wood flooring product, whether it be the laminate, ceramic tile, carpeting, Michael's Flooring Outlet is your place to go. And thank him, by the way, for supporting Allman in the Morning so many years. michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Are you ready to sell your house, but you don't know who to trust with a listing? I'm Tammy Mitchell-Hines, and I sell a house every 30 hours in the Metro East. From staging your house to filling out all of the paperwork, my team is here to guide you step by step through the process of selling your house and getting the most value from it. Serving in Monroe, St. Clair, and Madison counties in Illinois. Go to calltammy.com and let us do the work for you. If you buy or sell a house with me, you can use my moving truck for free. Just go to calltammy.com.
KXFN St. Louis, K287BY St. Louis.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Hey, it's Allman from Allman in the Morning. I want to tell you about the quality customized service you will receive when you call my friend Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He's also the top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Those are beautiful. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. So cut down on the risk of error. Schedule your appointment today with Michael Proctor. Proctor spelled like doctor, proctordrapery.com.
Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
All right, people, it's going to be a bad day for Ilhan Omar, not only on Capitol Hill, but also around it. You heard earlier from Ola Hawatma, who is the vice president of the Middle Eastern Women's Coalition. They are having a news conference this afternoon calling for Omar Ilhan to resign because of her anti-Israel comments, where she's confusing support for an ally with allegiance to a foreign country, which is inexplicable and inexcusable if you are a member of Congress, and especially given her past and her past comments. And, of course, the House Democrats are actually going to have a resolution that doesn't mention her specifically, but will reinforce support for Israel. So it's going to be an interesting thing. This, of course, coming at a time against the backdrop of a possibility that we're hearing from Israeli intelligence officials that they could be at war with Gaza in no time. So we'll figure all this out by tomorrow morning. We'll certainly know more. I'm always a fan more of the electorate deciding who stays and who goes in office. But nonetheless, it is what it is, and rampant criticism of one of the Democratic Party's newest so-called stars. It's going to be today. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks a ton for listening and watching.
I'm Rich Thomason.